Welcome to the Utah Stadium in Launceston for this very important T20 game this afternoon, or this morning into this afternoon, between the Greater Northern Raiders and Lindisfarne. A really important game. Today's a big round of games right around Tasmania in the Cricket Tasmania Premier League T20 competition. And we'll know by tonight who the two finalists are, and the two teams here are certainly with a chance. We've got Lindisfarne in 4th place and Greater Northern Raiders in 5th. So the loser here is possibly out of the competition. So a lot at stake. And welcome our co-commentator this afternoon, Richard Bennett. Go, Richard.
G'day, Dave. A pleasure to be here.
Yeah, it's been better.
And what a good day in Launceston.
Absolutely. You couldn't get a better day for cricket. It's probably about 23 degrees, and the ground is an absolute pitcher. Of course, it was used recently for the two BBL games, one of which was rained out. But the pitch on that occasion, I think, was a pitch that favoured both, gave a bit of assistance to both the batsmen and the bowlers on certain occasions.
Yes, and there are 3 drop-in wickets at Utah's now, and this is the western side of those 3 that we're playing on today. It looks like there's a bit of a green tinge, but it'll certainly be a good flat surface, conducive to T20 cricket. The Greater Northern Raiders are batting, Dave.
Yep, and that's good news because we get to see one of the rising stars of the competition, Sam O'Mahony.
Sam's been a bit of a revelation this year. He's always had the potential, but he's been given a licence at the top of the order in the T20 games. Coach Coyle gave him that licence, and on a couple of occasions, one in particular against South Hobart Sandy Bay down at Queenborough, he came off and batted beautifully, and all but won the game off his own bat, and so he is opening today with Miles Barnard. And of course Miles is an experienced cricketer, former captain I think of the Raiders in Devonport. He was captain for the first 2 years and has relinquished the captaincy for Oliver Wood. But he'll play the more measured innings, and we hope to see Sam O'Mahony take it to the Lindisfarne bowlers, of course. Now,
Alec Maher is opening the attack, and he had a day out against Anthony Maher, beg your pardon, had a day out against the Raiders earlier in the year, taking 9 wickets down there at Lindisfarne.
That'll do it for you most occasions, won't it? His left arm over, and he's bowling from the northern or Invermaid Park end.
And it's Barnard on strike, so we're getting underway here at Utah Stadium. And a beautiful shot through the covers, run straight away. So running across this beautiful surface here at Utah Stadium and across the line now, and that's 4 runs. First ball of the game to Miles Barnard. What a beautiful shot, Richard.
Well, absolutely. That's a terrific shot in any form of the game. It was between extra cover and mid-off, and Jared Freeman, of course, the former Mowbray cricketer and state contracted player, trots from mid-off and can only pick it up from over the line. Bit of a loosening right in the slot, wasn't it? It's a nice one to get first ball. Absolutely.
From the batting point of view. Yes, so in comes Maher once again to Barnard. This one tucks him up a bit, just knocks it on the onside. Goes forward a square and there'll be a single. So none for 5 off the 2 deliveries.
The challenge with Premier League, or for Premier League players in T20 cricket is to take the achievable out of what they see with the Big Bash and in international T20 cricket, but overlay it on their own games. We're also used to seeing the ball flying over the boundary, but it's still an innings, and they still need to play to their own strength. So Miles in particular will be looking to set the innings up in that regard to give Sam O'Mahony the licence that he's got to take the game on.
Left-handed O'Mahony. Once again, he gets tucked up by a good ball here from Maher. Bowls head on the offside. It's off the bat, so off the mark is O'Mahony. Yes, we talked about Anthony Maher there back in the game on the 31st of October. He took those 9 wickets in the innings, which I think might have been some sort of Lindisfarne record. Magnificent performance, 9 for 58 off 16.2 overs. So the right-handed Barnard now on strike. As Maher comes in over the wicket, this one keeps a little bit lower. He just places it on the offside, and good fielding there by Lindisfarne.
There's nothing threatening about Maher's pace, but typical of left armour, he's shaping the ball back into the right-hander, and no doubt. He had conditions conducive to his bowling on that occasion, and 9 wickets would be a career highlight for sure.
So Ma once again comes in, bowls to Barno, who tries to sort of assist the ball over the slips cordon, doesn't make contact, straight through the keeper.
Gee, good carry. The wicket keeper took it above shoulder height there, and
he bent the back a bit more on that one.
Yeah, it's easy for me to say his pace is not threatening from over the boundary at long on. That one certainly flew through.
So last ball of the first over. Anthony Ma. It's time to Barno, who advances in place with the covers beautifully. That could be the second boundary. Player in pursuit is going to lose the race, and it's straight through the boundary there on extra cover, and that's a second beautiful cover drive this over from Miles Barnard. End of the first over, and the score is 9 for 10. Good start to the Raiders.
Oh, absolutely. That drive was equally well hit as the one earlier in the over, but it was between point and cover, so it picked a different gap. And as you say, the ground and the outfield here, an absolute picture, and good value for shots. There's a very long boundary out to the eastern side, but it was well timed and was always 4.
So the lineup for Lindisfarne today: Anthony Ma, Declan Waddington, Tom McGann, Keegan Oates, Jared Freeman, Jackson Grubb, Jack Freeman, Daniel Chapman, Jack Fennell, Bryce Allomes and James Burke. So some younger players getting an opportunity. And keeper there is... And thanks to Chris Ball back in the City Park Radio studio as we welcome our City Park Radio listeners to UTAS Stadium in a very eventful first over, 10 runs and 2 beautiful cover drives from Miles Barnard. And he's on 9, O'Mahony's on 1. And we're now to the second over. And this is Jack Freeman, right arm over, bowls to O'Mahony. Good length ball, just plays it into the covers, no run. So our radio listeners, big first over from Miles Barnard. Richard.
2 terrific cover drives, picking two gaps in the field and the offside to the long boundary, but always 4, so a very bright start and a couple of well-run singles as well.
So Richard Bennett is my co-commentator this afternoon. We're doing 2 games here on City Park Radio, this one and the one later on under lights against North Hobart. As Freeman again, this one's down leg side, that's a wide. Puts his hand on his head as the ball goes through to McGann. Tom McGann, son of Nick McGann, who grew up in northern Tasmania, a former teammate of you, Richard?
Yes, he was. He is and was a former teammate of mine. We played a lot of cricket together at Launceston, and he's now in the south as a school teacher.
Yep. He was also a keeper too, Nick.
Yeah, very good hands, very good keeper.
Freeman to O'Mahony, that's a no ball. So it was outside off stump, big swing and a miss there from O'Mahony. As the umpire circles his finger into the air, and the single's a free hit, so a bit of a bonus early on here for the Raiders.
Oh, absolutely, a really bright start for the northern team, the Greater Northern Raiders, and don't be surprised if Sam O'Mahony swings himself off his feet.
The field can't change here as Jack Freeman comes into O'Mahony. This one's down the leg side. There'll be a wide, so there'll be another free hit. So a wayward start here from young Jack Freeman.
This is a rare instance of having 2 players of the same name in the same team. 2 J. Freemans in the game, and of course this is the non-Mowbray Cricket Club Freeman. He's a tall right arm faster bowler, whereas of course Jared Freeman bowls right arm orthodox.
So fancy his time to O'Mahony, gets it through mid-wicket, past the field there and out towards the boundary. A great diving attempt at a save there, but all to no avail there from Declan Waddington. So it's over the boundary line for another boundary to the Raiders. So taking full toll of that free hit, Richard.
Oh yeah, good result. Didn't try to overhit it, didn't get much of it, but again with this good outfield, it found its way to the western side boundary.
None for 17 is the score. So Jack Freeman again to O'Mahony, left-hander. He swings at this one. A big appeal for LBW. Didn't make contact. Shy at the stumps as they go through for leg by. He overthrows. Gets through the Fizz mid-on, and then he'll go out now for 5. So a big bonus there for the Raiders. 5 leg buys. A big shout for LBW. There was a shy at the non-strikers end as they went through for the leg buy. They got through the fielder there on the side of the ring, and it's 5 runs.
I can see that we're about to have the problem that we always have here when there's 5 runs, and it rarely happens. Of course, the batters and the umpires are always sluggish to realise that there's got to be a change of ends, and now they've realised it, so it's Barnard on strike now.
So it's all happening here at Utah Stadium early on in this game. The Raiders make a very powerful start, none for 22. And we're just in the second over. We've still got 3 balls to come. As the field changes round now for Barnard. Of course, just the 2 players out here in the power play. We might go through at some stage, the next couple of overs, what needs to happen for the Great Northern Raiders to make the final. It's a combination of results, but it is possible.
I think winning the first game's the key.
That's the big one. Jack Freeman, this time it's a half volley. As Barnard doesn't get the timing on the shot, goes down to mid-off. No run. So the bottom line is the Raiders do have to win their 2 games. They have to rely on Lindisfarne beating North Hobart in the second game, and for South Hobart Sandy Bay to lose at least one of their 2 games today. So it's possible, and we'll see what happens. They've certainly made a great start in this first game. As Jack Freeman in this time to Barnard, who goes aerial over extra cover. Pax didn't get the contact he wanted, but falls safely, and they'll get 2 runs there. As Declan Waddington does the fielding, gets it back in him again.
Your extra covers changed spot there. I thought that was backward point.
Yeah, it did end up being backward point. I forgot I'm not on radio, I'm on the stream as well, so pressure's on. People can see what's going on. So we've got a good start here, none for 24 now for the Raiders. Last ball of the second over. Jack Freeman bustles in. It's a wide ball, that'll be another extra. So a long second over here from Jack Freeman.
After such a terrific first 2 overs, it's really necessary for the batsmen now not to consolidate, but to they don't need to go to an extra gear. So it's just to keep doing what they're doing, knocking in the gaps. Clearly, the falls will come.
And Jack Freeman bowls this time, just knocks it on the onside there nicely. Does Barnard, sensible cricket. Turns a strike over, gets the run, keeps the strike. So at the end of 2 overs here at Utah Stadium, it's no wicket for 25 with Barnard on 12, Omani on 5. So just to start, Tim Coyle would want from his charges.
Oh, absolutely, he'd be delighted. It can change very quickly, of course, especially these T20 games, but that's a terrific start. I noticed both batsmen, as soon as the ball's not hit crisply, they look at their bat almost to suggest that the bat's the problem, but sure enough, Miles has called for another one, so he's changed his over already. I think possibly there's something they're picking up from the television.
I'll keep you on track here today with the Midland Tractors T20 Cup, the NTCA T20 Cup. I'll get to that in a moment. As Anthony Mars, 3rd over, comes into Barnard, leans back, cuts this one, backward a point. They'll just get the 1. So another run there to Barnard. He goes up to 13. And none for 27. So at the NTCA ground, the first game here is between Mowbray and South Launceston. And after 18 overs, Mowbray 5 for 107, with Scott having scored 41 and Hughes 33. And so interesting contest there. So a couple of overs to go in that competition. We'll keep you up to date throughout the day on that one. And this time it's Anthony Marr to the left-handed Omani. He goes back. It's down the leg side. It's a wide. McGann doesn't take it cleanly. They get an extra run as it spills onto the onside. So 2 extras there to the score. None for 29. Been a good season for the Raiders so far, Richard. We might talk more about it during the half-time break, but they've certainly been more competitive.
Yeah, look, they've been in most games. I think Coach Coyle would be disappointed that at times they haven't seized that critical moment in a game, but they have been in almost every game, which is really encouraging.
Beautiful shot here from Barnard, but is it fielded well? It's going to go towards the boundary line. He just keeps it in down there on deep point, but a lovely shot from Barnard. It's another 2 runs from the misfield.
One of the the privileges or differences, if you like, this year is that Tim Coyle has been able to work with a more settled group of players. Those players being available week in, week out, and they've been rewarded with ongoing selection, which has been terrific for for team balance and for knowing each other's games. And of course we've had the two Victorians from Carlton play earlier in the season. That's been helpful. And Tim David, who viewers and listeners would have been seeing with the Hurricanes, has played on 2 or 3 occasions and gets very good press from the Raiders. He's fully engaged with playing, looking to play at every opportunity, and so that's an excellent opportunity for our guys to play with someone who's having those other experiences as well and can bring that to the table.
None for 31. There's Ma to Barnard, who tries to lap this round the corner, doesn't make contact. Very confident shout there from Ma, but to Richie looked like it was outside off stump.
Yeah, well, he's coming left arm around. Yeah. I think that would have...
pitched outside off. Hitting outside off.
Hitting outside, yes. Yeah. Pitching outside's okay, but hitting him outside might have been the thing.
Leg ball, number 32. So Barnard, 15 off 12. O'Mahony, 5 off 5. I don't have extras so far as Ma, this time to O'Mahony, who plays and misses. No foot movement there, just flashed at it outside off stump.
Even with this good start, O'Mahony hasn't yet really been fluent and able to get the ball in his arc. So, if that happened, well, we're really on the way.
So, just a short run up, well inside the fielding restriction circle. Left arm over to the left-hander O'Mahony, pulls this one, doesn't get a full purchase, gets it out through mid-wicket. They should get a couple here. And so the fielder in the deep has to run a fair way around. I think that's Jack Fennell out there to field the ball. So 2 more to O'Mahony. It's the end of the 3rd over, and it's none for 34, so well over the 10 over. In fact, we're 11.33 is the run rate. So we're going to see which if they give young Jack Freeman another over.
It looks like they are.
Let's have a look. Looks like it's Keegan Oates, the number 99.
Yeah, well, Keegan Oates is he's had some good under 19 opportunities with the state, and really knocking the door down for higher honours. Not as sure how his season has been this year, but a batting all rounder, you would say. But he bowls right arm seam up.
Hasn't bowled a lot this season. Just the 1 wicket, 1 for 9.
He's got a game ideally suited to the shorter format.
Yep. So he's got Barnard on strike. So we've got the 2 players out. So there's no one deep on the offside. Or deep square leg, just forward of square, and deep mid on. Packed umbrella field there on the offside is Keegan Oates. First ball, and Barnard cuts, can't get it through. So that's a quite tightly packed offside field there, went straight to point. That's going to be the line he might be going to bowl, I think, Richard.
Yeah, well, good cricket shots, the order of the day, and to find the gaps. It's, the man at 45 on the offside is quite square, so he certainly could late cut one with full result.
And does that right now, right through the field. He predicted it beautifully, Richard Bennett, as it goes out towards the boundary. It pierced that gap there between backward point and point. And it right away beautifully to the boundary. That's a fine shot from Miles Barnard. He looks in hot form today. And he goes up now to 19. And the score is none for 38. Fine shot.
Terrific shot. Waited for the ball. Didn't try to do too much with it. Used the pace. Hit it nicely into the gap. So, yeah, terrific start for Barnard.
So the number 99, Keegan Oates. Hustles in this time. Barnard advances, hits down the ground beautifully, through mid-on. The fielder was up that time, and he's picked the gap beautifully. It's gone out for 4. That was smart play there from Barnard, because they made the field alteration, the mid-on came up, deep point went out, and he chanced his arm down through the mid-on area.
Yeah, look, whether it was premeditated or, whether he just had in mind, he could see that the mid-long on had come up. Yeah, well played, well played.
23 off 15 for Barnard, none for 42. Oates again. This time he advances. This goes up in the air. He's going to be lucky here as it goes over the keeper's head. Pitches like a 9-iron. They'll run a couple. They might think about 3. Yes, they turn and go. Good running by O'Mahony there. This is the fielding was done there by Jack Fennell. So just got to watch here that, they've got that nice base, but losing the wicket now, that momentum could be lost.
Yeah, he overplayed that one a little bit, but hard to be critical.
Got the 3 runs.
Got away with it. Fortune favours the brave.
Done for 45 off 3.4. Barnard to 26. So O'Mahony's had a lot of the strikes so far. Oates changes to round the wicket. And he goes for the big hoik here, does O'Mahony, try to get it over mid-on. Doesn't make contact through to McGann.
You noted the bowler's playing in shirt number 99, Dave.
Yes.
More like the old Get Smart.
Yes, absolutely. Agent 99.
Yes. I think we're in trouble.
That's a good observation, Richard. For our younger listeners, that was a great show to Get Smart.
You don't see 99 on the sportsman's top very often.
Not at all. As he advances in the air, he might be lucky once again. Kersman getting under it, will be tough. Clears his head. There's a couple more runs there to O'Mahony, so they're chancing their arm at the moment, the Raiders, but they're getting away with it.
O'Mahony's got a chance now to fill the ball in the middle of the bat and take a couple of overs and then go large. He's at risk here of overplaying it. A couple of his last shots, a bit fortunate perhaps.
So hello to Chris Sayer in sunny Ulverston, who's just sent me a message saying he's enjoying the cricket. So pretty much sunny conditions all around northern Tasmania. It's going to be a beautiful day. If you've got a chance, if you're listening or watching the stream, get down to UTAS Stadium. There's plenty of room, obviously, and you can see. But no, it's going to be a great day's cricket. 3 fantastic T20 contests here today. Of course, the middle game is Lindisfarne versus North Hobart, and then the game in the evening, Greater Northern Raiders versus North Hobart. So we've got spin for the first time. And into the attack here is James Burke. Looks like he's going to the left arm over. See if he's a wrist or off spinner.
Oh, is he a leg spinner?
Leg spinner, yep. Left arm leg spin. So first ball not too bad, didn't bounce an awful lot. Barnard didn't make contact as he tried to pull it through mid-wicket.
So that's the style of bowling that is employed by Darcy Short and Michael Bevan.
That's nicely tossed up. Barnard straight to cover, no run.
And it looks like he's putting quite a bit of work on it. It's not just rolling out. I would think with that action he's also got a good wrong, so Barnard will need to be careful.
Drives again, straight to cover, rinse and repeat. So good tight start here from young Burke. Mixture of first and second grade games this year. He's taken the 1 first grade wicket. As in he comes again, Barnard full toss, and he doesn't try to overhit it, just hits it down here to mid-on, and Anthony Marr comes up and does the fielding.
Yeah, I like the look of the bowler, and terrific that it's turning out that T20 cricket is conducive to playing spin bowlers, and that young spin bowlers are getting an opportunity, whereas, when the game was first imagined a decade or so ago, we all thought that it would be the death.
Plays it into point area this time. There's O'Mahony, there's a misfield, so they'll get a couple. So it goes halfway to the boundary.
I like that shot from O'Mahony more. He certainly played it off the wicket well, was watchful, rather than necessarily looking to heave everything across his body onto the leg side.
Just having a look at the new bowler here. They haven't tried to take too many risks so far. As Burke comes in, this time he advances, but he gets it on the full, doesn't time it, but gets enough on it down here to Freeman. Now they're going to go for 2 on Freeman's arm. That is great running there by the Raiders. As Jared Freeman was just a bit sluggish, I think, Richard, just getting to the ball. He thought it was going to be an easy one, and they took the throw on. Well, got the 2.
Well, certainly in that position at the higher level, the expectation always would be to be able to save 2 from there. So Barnard was very quick to see that there was a chance, and made it comfortably.
None for 52 off 5. So still over that 10 and over, but a nice tidy first over. A couple of full tosses, but not bad first over. Only 5 off young Burke.
Yeah, no, good start for him. He'll take some confidence from that. And there's another bowling change, Jared Freeman. So this is the state contracted player of course, from Mowbray. He bowls right arm off spin, and he's coming around the wicket.
He bowls to Barnard, who just has a look first up, hits it to mid-wicket, no run. Of course, made his BBL debut on this ground a couple of seasons ago.
Yeah. He's very accurate bowler, Jared. A little variations in flight.
Sweep this time from Barnard. I think he made contact with that down here to short fine leg. It's close to the boundary. And they get a couple of runs there. So 2 more to Barnard. He goes up now to 29. Omani is 13. And it's none for 54 in the 6th over. So Miles Barnard. Jared Freeman, a bit quicker. Ooh, now he tried to hit that to the leg side. It spun a little bit, but it was down the leg side, so it's a wide. Keeper didn't quite take it then again. So wide ball. Just lifted the head a little bit there, Barnard. Was looking at that inviting gap there in mid-wicket. Let's see what he does to this one. This time he just plays more circumspect onto the onside. To mid-wicket, it's a bit of a misfield, so they might double up here. And I've got to say, so far, the Lindisfarne fielding has been a little bit ragged, Richard.
Look, when the surface is this good and the ground so large, the best fielders shine, but also the fielders who are not clean and not quick to the ball are shown up. Yes, surprisingly, Lindisfarne have been a bit off the boil.
This one's down leg side, might be off the pad here. He's got his back to us. And no, might have been just an inside edge. So another run there to Barnard. Moves up to 32, none for 58. So now Omani on strike for the first time to Jared Freeman. 2 balls left in the over. It's a good partnership here. Great start for the Raiders. Jared Freeman now to Omani, who advances, hits high in the air. Got away with this one as well. He hasn't gone onto it. Fieldsman can't get round, and they'll get 2. So it's hitting the extra cover area. So their luck's on a little bit at the moment for the Raiders.
It's amazing, isn't it? Of course, we come to the BBL games, including at this stadium, and we're used to seeing the ball fly over the boundary. But we've seen here that...
We'll just get back to you in a second. Richard, he advances time, doesn't time the shot. Just goes straight back to the bowler. And I think that previous shot, he advanced. He didn't quite get to the pitch and caused the ball to go up in the air.
It's interesting, though. We've still been able to go at 10 and over without clearing the boundary. And, of course, there are 2s everywhere if you run well and if you're placing the ball into the gaps.
So the run rate is exactly 10 over after 6. And now we might just take a quick break here on City Park Radio. We're back after this little message from our sponsors.
There's a huge choice of teas and coffees with hot chocolate and chais also on offer. There's no rush, it's very relaxing and you'll be well looked after. Open from 10 a.m. Wednesday to Saturdays, dine-in, takeaway or pre-order online via the Skip app. Great tea, great coffee and good value for money. Next door to Specsavers. Tasane Tea Rooms, a sponsor of City Park Radio.
So James Burke, his first ball, just outside off stump. The second ball is a full ball and lands in a lovely spot. And Barnard could just knock it down the ground for a single. So he could start again to this over from James Burke. Varies his flight nicely.
Yeah, look, he's a classic left arm leg spin bowler. As Dave adjusts my microphone. He's landing them well. He'd be pleased with his start.
This time he flights it and it's stumped. I think he's out. He is. Omani's out. Beautiful piece of bowling from James Burke. Smart work from Tom McGann.
Omani was committed to coming down the wicket and the ball was a bit flatter and thrown out wide, and yes, it was very good work from the keeper McGann. He grabbed it low and had the bails off in a flash, and there was no chance Omani would get back, so he didn't really get going. And somewhat surprisingly, it was Barnard who's taken the initiative, but a terrific start, 60 or 61 early into the 7th over is just the start that the Raiders were after. And the incoming batsman, James Simpson, Dave.
Young man from the Riverside Cricket Club?
Yeah, look, a sporting family. Their basketballers, the Simpsons, and
Brother of Ben played with North Launceston. Plays with North Launceston, yep.
Look, North Launceston football.
Yep.
Yeah, no,
different family.
Yeah, different family. James is he's played most of the season with the Raiders. Had a really good game at Queenborough, that game that Omani scored all those runs, and has really started to look the goods with an extended opportunity to play at this level.
So lovely bowling from James Burke. His figures pretty impressive up there on the board. 1 for 6 off 1.3 overs. He comes again, just a short run up, skips in now, and Simpson just doesn't look first up, hits it to covers, no run. So how does Barnard change his game now? Just to go back and steal a little bit with the loss of that wicket?
Well, he may not, because James will take a little while to get going. So
next ball, Simpson comes down confidently, just drags it across his body a bit down to mid-on.
The important thing for both players is to continue to rotate the strike. But I think Barnard will keep going. He's had a good start. He'll probably not rein himself in.
So Simpson, of course, scored 57 during the week in the under-18 game against Glenorchy. Now it's Barnard on strike, because Simpson got a single from that last one. Oh, that's a lovely ball. And that came back in towards Barnard.
And hurried on, didn't it?
Yep.
And Barnard was really rusty. He was shaping to cut, but the ball was much too close, and all he could do was really keep it out with an inside edge onto his pad.
1 for 7 off 2 overs for James Burke. It's 1 for 62 with Barnard 33 and Simpson on 1. Yeah, 57 during the week for young James Simpson. He scored 30 against Kingborough, 52 against South Hobart Sandy Bay. So he's scored some runs here and there. Also a handy bowler.
Yeah, bowls little off spinners that could be used today.
So he's on strike now. There's
Freeman back to bowl, I think.
He is indeed.
Not Jared.
This is Jack Freeman. A bit of a wayward first over. But situation of the game now is Lindisfarne just for the first time in the contest, just sensing there's a way through here if they can get another quick wicket.
So 5 on the off and 4 on the leg. Still just the 2 men out. It's deep square leg and deep point.
Jack Freeman to Simpson. This is a nice ball right on the stumps. He can just play it on the offside back to the bowler. So that score, we mentioned earlier, the Mowbray versus South Launceston game there in the Midland Tractors T20. And it was 5 for 130 was the final score for Mowbray, with Luke Scott 41, Freeman 26, Hughes 33. And South Launceston reply, 1 over, none for 7. So we'll keep you up to date with that one as Freeman comes in now to Simpson. Plays it nicely behind point. Down towards third man. Just gets the single there.
And Dave, there'd be another game going on at the NTCA ground on the other ground.
Try and get a score on that one.
That may not be may not be live on My Cricket, but
okay,
we'll see if we can get a score there as well.
So Freeman, top of his mark, comes in, bowls, advancing this time's Barnard, head in the air, it's him on the pad, no run.
He's certainly tightened his line up from that first over. Looks right on song now.
So a few spectators here enjoying the action this afternoon. Great day of cricket here, and certainly a good basis for a competitive score here for the Raiders. As Freeman comes in, Barnard, well, that's a wide one, signal wide by the umpires. He had to reach for that one.
I think I just said he'd tightened his line up, didn't I?
So I'm going to play out there. I'm just trying to find who it is. Number 92 for Lindisfarne. I'll try and get an ID on that. Just messaging Nathan Bester here. See if he can give me the detail. As we got Jack Freeman again to Barnard. He's a bit tied down at the moment. He plays it behind point, and that player there, number 92, makes a good stop. And it's just the 1 run. So Barnard, positive start. 2 beautiful cover drives in the first over. He was up to 34. 1 for 65. So Bryce Alloms is the number 92. So just change that number there. And he comes this time, Freeman. Oh, that's up in the air by Simpson. Easy catch here from McGann. Underneath it, takes the catch, and that's the second wicket down for the Raiders. He just tried to turn it on the onside, and it just got on there a bit quick and caught that top edge. Easy catch from McGann.
Yeah, uncomfortable shot for him. He got cramped and looked to paddle it over the, around the corner and leading edge, just lobbed to the wicket keeper who hardly had to move. So that's the end of Simpson.
He just cuts the 2 runs there, so 2 for 65. We mentioned there's a bit of a momentum change in this game.
Yes, Captain Oliver Wood to the crease now, so there'll be a 3 or 4 over consolidation ideally. Both Barnard and Wood certainly capable of pushing it on, but they would want to be a little circumspect for a while.
Yeah, so the ebbs and flows of T20, wickets can often change the game.
Well, absolutely. We see it over and over again, don't we?
Certainly do. As Jack Freeman, his first over was a shocker, to be honest, but he's really come back with this over on good lines, good pace.
Yep. Yeah, that delivery hurried Simpson, he was in a poor position to play the horizontal bat shot.
So batsman cross, so Barnard will be on strike for the last ball of the 8th over. Taps the bat on the ground here, does Barnard. And once again, they get a lot of runs at the moment through that backward point area, and he just plays it nicely down to third man. Fennell does the fielding, and it's the end of the over, and after 8 overs, the Raiders are 2 for 66, Barnard 35, and Woody yet to score.
One of the 2 big scoreboards at UTES Stadium in operation, so not the one on the railway wing side, the one in the other pocket in the at the city end of the ground, and that would be about 150 metres, I suppose, Dave, from our commentary position.
Lucky you've got the binos, Richard.
Very good binoculars from Dave Fozzie Moore.
Here we go, and young Burke's getting a 3rd over, which is interesting. He bowls, and Barnard doesn't get full contact on that. It's a bottom edge and just goes out to point, no run. Good tactic to go the 3rd over?
Yes, I think so. He's on top, and he's confident with his bowling. He's bowling very smartly, keeping it outside off stump, making sure that the batsmen have got to drag it across if they want to go to the shorter western side boundary.
This one's a bit fuller. It's played down to mid-off by Barnard for a single. Score goes up now to 66. And Oliver Wood on strike for the first time. Probably hasn't seen a lot of James Burke, so you might just have a bit of a look before being too expansive. We'll see.
I think Burke could perhaps afford to bring that deep point in.
Yeah, there's 3 players out. They're allowed more, of course, but with the new batsman on strike, putting a bit of pressure on. This is short. Then can't make contact. Taken nicely by him again. They've executed that very smart stumping to get rid of Omani. Tosses the ball from hand to hand. Doesn't waste any time, does James Burke. In he comes. Nice ball. Can only defend here, Wood.
That's the thing with the spin bowlers in T20, any cricket, but T20 in particular, if they do get on top, they can rush through some overs and add another dimension of pressure to the batting side.
Mid-off goes back. This one's right on the stumps. Wood, risky single. They're going to make it. They do. Good running, as it turns out. And he called Barnard through, and they made it there through a single, so that's Wood's first run.
They went without hesitation, which is, of course, what enabled them to get there, but it looked tight.
2 for 67. As Burke this time to Barnard, plays it confidently down to mid-on, but it's just singles at the moment as we go through a bit of a consolidation phase for the Greater Northern Raiders. End of the over. Another fine over from James Burke, the left arm leggy. He's got 3 overs now, 1 for 9, 1 for 10, I beg your pardon, 2 for 69 off 9. So after 6 it was 60, and after 9 it's 69. So just 9 runs in the last 3 overs.
Yes, well, as we say, tight bowling and a wicket or 2 will do it every time. But that's okay. That's okay. We can take it through to about 12 overs, just ticking it over at 4 or 5 or 6 and over. and then hopefully with 8 wickets in hand, launch again. I'm sure that would be the plan.
So Jack Freeman, just top of his mark. So while the bowlers are bowling well here, they're going to keep them on. This time now to Barnard. He advances, hits it aerially towards point, lands about a metre in front of the fieldsman. No run. So Jack Freeman, the number 11. Got a very fine second over after a wayward first one. Barnard on strike on 37 off 34. Been a while since the last boundary. Let's see what happens here as Freeman bowls to Barnard, who just plays on the onside. Just for a single. Yeah, the boundaries have certainly dried up.
Yeah,
good bowling.
They have, yes, tighter lines and more considered batting.
Batsmen out so far, Marnie 15, Simpson for 2. Wickets to Burke and Jack Freeman, who's the bowler at the moment. Right arm over and whips off these pads this time as Wood. Great timing, but straight to the fielder. Just get the one run.
What an unusual fielding position that is. He's well outside the circle at short, fine leg, outside the circle, but 30 metres in from the boundary line. He's being told to drop back a bit now. I think
I know coaches used to hate that because he can't save a single and there's a lot of room either side of you.
Yes.
Anyway, Jack Freeman now to Barnard. And Barnard through mid-wicket in the air. Doesn't quite time it. 1-2 bounce to the fielder. Almost evades him. The old spin that sometimes happens.
He relied on one hand and luckily for him it stuck.
All's well that ends well, as they say.
Yeah, I can understand.
It's got a bit of a smile on the face there.
I can understand the fine legs idea in coming up because a lot of space left and right.
2 for 72. Barnard 39. Wood 2. So Freeman, this time to Wood, ball on leg stump, so in fact a wide, no contact made, through to McGann. Bonus run there for the Raiders. So the deep mid-wicket, deep square leg, deep fine leg, third man and deep point, the 4 players out at the moment. So a bit of room, over mid on, over mid off, could tempt Wood here.
Yeah, I think Barnard would try that. I think Oliver Wood's still some deliveries away from going over the top.
He goes over the top, over cover. He might get a couple here. Didn't quite time it. It's fielded there by the deep point fieldsman there in Anthony Marr.
Yeah, I think I'll just have a spell now, Dave.
No, it was over cover. Well, I was talking more about over mid off and mid on, but he didn't place it quite nicely in the end. So
it was a controlled shot.
It was. 2 for 75. So they're starting to move these two close to the halfway mark of this innings. As Wood, that was well bowled there. He changed the pace nicely.
Yep.
Completely deceived Oliver Wood. And that is the halfway point of this innings. After 10 overs, it's 2 for 75. Well, a message from one of our sponsors. Meet back in just a moment.
Tasmania, we've done well keeping on top of COVID, but there is always a risk someone in our community has the virus. Testing is our only way to pick up a COVID case and helps us act fast to stop the spread. If you have symptoms, get tested. Do your part to protect yourself, your loved ones and your community, particularly those at high risk. Call the Public Health Hotline on 1800 671 738, contact your GP or visit coronavirus.tas.gov.au.
A sponsor of City Park Radio.
Full toss this time from Burke, just round the corner, no run.
Yep, I think he's tried to sweep that, but with no reward. Looked to punch that one down the ground, but anyway, he's looking for the boundary rather than the single.
So down the ground this time, just the one run. There's a bit of a misfield there by the bowler.
So this is his last over. Burke, he's been very impressive.
He tosses this one up, goes for the big shot here, does Ollie Wood. Tries to get it over mid-wicket, doesn't make contact.
So his top spinner, or perhaps a bit of wrong on that, and beat him on the outside edge. So again, very well bowled.
James Burke, the number 75, into Wood. This one's short, and he probably should have taken more toll on that one, but he pushed it through a bit quicker. What do you think about bowling the last ball over here for Burke? It's his fourth over. We'll get you back to the second half of this ball, Richards, as in comes Burke again to Wood. This one's down leg side. Might have been off the pad, or off the keeper's pad. It's going to be runs, though. Down towards fine leg. Athletic fielding attempt there, and the ball comes back in for a couple of runs. Let's see what the umpire signals. Leg byes.
Yeah, there's a tendency in Premier League cricket, as opposed to a big bash, to especially a young bowler, if he's into a good spell, is to keep him going. Perhaps in the big bash, you break them up into 1 or 2 over spells. But no, I can understand why they wanted to keep him going. He's done really well so far. And
this one's short and turns into the pads. They're looking for 2 here. Came back as Barnard. Throw wasn't good. A good throw might have had him under pressure, but they get back for 2 there. And another couple of runs there to Oliver Wood. And that's the end of 11 overs. It's 2 for 80.
Yeah, so going into into the game, they wouldn't have been sure, Lindisfarne, that they would have gotten 4 overs out of Burke. But having bowled so well, I think their decision was obviously to keep him going. And he's returned that faith really well. 4 overs, 1 for 13, I think, which is fantastic figures for any bowler, but for a spin bowler starting out, excellent work.
Yep, certainly a fine spell. And looks like Jared Freeman, who bowled just the 1 over earlier. Be surprised if he bowls 3 on the trot from that city end. So Barnard, who's plugging away here, is 40 off 38. Wood 6 off 10. First ball has gone for, in fact, there's a appeal for stumping. He went for a big hit through mid-wicket. Head was in the air, very agricultural. He missed it. McGann took the bails off. Umpire says not out.
Just lost his shape a bit there, trying to overhit it, I think. There's plenty of space above mid-wicket, and if he hits it well enough, it'll be 4. So just keep your shape, Miles.
He does this time. Plays it straight to mid-wicket for no run. So game in the balance here. Run rate, just over 7, not too bad at the 11 over mark. I'd really love to push here to 130, 140, no doubt about that. Sweep shot in the air, gets away with it. In fact, it goes behind square leg here, down a fine leg for a couple of runs. Fielding done there by Jackson Grubb. 2 runs to Barnard. Up to 42. 2 for 82. He comes again. Jared Freeman, and this time it's a sensible shot. You can hear Richard saying there, that's a single down to mid-on. He's kept his shape, as you said. Oliver Wood back on strike. Jared Freeman played a bit of first-class cricket for Tassie as well. Played a game up in Sydney a couple of years back as a youngster. Round the wicket, and a big hoik here from Oliver Wood. Is he bowled? He is. He's out. Good delivery there from Jared Freeman right on the spot. And he tried to go for the big one over mid-wicket to cow corner. And the stumps there have been knocked over. So that's the 3rd wicket down for the Raiders.
Yes, they need to be pushing on, but I think both batsmen were thinking 4 and 6. Whereas I think if they knock it in the outfield for 2s, the 4s will come.
Yep.
He wasn't beaten by turn there. He just overhit it, I think, and missed out. This is Spencer Hayes, the incoming batsman, son of Mowbray cricketer Nick Hayes, and a fine young athlete. He's had some good performances this year. A batting all-rounder. His bowling hasn't been used much for the Raiders this year, but he's a legitimate all-rounder and a good striker of the ball. I just hope he can take sufficient time to get in, because he will knock it around well and run well between the wickets.
Okay, crucial part of the game. The openers put on at 60 today, and after the first 6 overs, but certainly Lindisfarne fought their way back into the game. 3 for 83. First ball now to Hayes, who just pops it on the onside. Might have been off the pad. They rush through for a single. Would have been tight there with a direct hit from McGann. And umpire doesn't signal, so I think that's
first run
there
Hayes.
to young Hayes. So 3 for 84 off 12, so it's exactly 7 and over. Barnard 43 and Spencer Hayes on 1. What do you think they're looking at score-wise?
Well, it's maybe
About 140, maybe?
Look, 8 overs left. Yes, they'd still be looking, they'd be hoping 140 minimum. But of course, it's about being able to tick the board over whilst consolidating.
Yep.
Another bowling change here.
Bryce Alomes into the attack.
Bryce Alomes. Yeah, I'm not sure about Bryce's pedigree.
We'll have a bit of a look at the stats here.
Looks a young player.
So, yeah, Bryce Alomes.
He's going to be bowling right arm seam up from the Invermay Park end to Spencer Hayes.
Just played the one first grade game this year, so we'll get back to that in a moment as he comes in a bowl, right arm over, and Hayes down the leg side. That's a wide. No contact. Keeper didn't take it. McGann standing up the stumps. They'll just get the one extra run. So wide +1.
Alomes of the flowing locks, Dave.
Absolutely. Yeah, he's got it all happening there. But played. He's had some good hauls in second grade this year. Just played the one first grade game against Glenorchy on the 12th of December. No wicket for 17. In fact, he played here on Thursday for the under-18s. We'll get back to that in a second. So Alomes in this time to Barnard. He goes back, chops down on it, under edge, into where the second slip would have been, but he gets through for a single. He played against Greater Northern a couple of days ago, and 1 for 25 off the 4 overs. So obviously an up-and-coming young player, and that's what it's all about here in the Cricket Tasmania Premier League.
A lot of these younger players, under 17s and under 19s, have missed an opportunity this year with restricted representative games.
Hayes gets a short one which he misses. He tried to pull it from outside off stump. Well taken there by McGann.
Cricket Tas have, through resource issues and COVID matters, have had to pull some of the underage programs, which makes these Premier League competitions even more important, and particularly the under-18 Premier League competition that got underway with 2 games on Thursday the week just gone here at UTAS.
Alomes to Spencer Hayes is a short outside off stump. Hits it too forcefully straight to point. Can't get a run. So nice tight start here from Bryce Alomes. His coach Matt Wilkie be very happy with what he's seen so far. Just the 3 runs off the 3 deliveries. We're at 3 for 87. Barnard 44 and Hayes on 1. Hayes on strike. Boy from Mowbray. He just plots this one on the offside. Plays it nicely down towards third man. Just gets the single, gets off strike. So another little period of consolidation here from the Raiders.
Got lots of cricket coming up here at UTAS. We had that day of under-18 cricket Thursday. The Raiders women play here tomorrow.
Yeah, some good players playing. Nicola Carey, I noticed, is playing. A couple of the other...
Yes. That's a 50-over game, that one, Dave.
Alomes this time, short. Barnard cuts now. You might look for 2 here. Run the first one hard, but they'll just get the one down to third man. So Spencer Hayes this year, batting-wise, he's had a couple of little knocks that have been very handy, especially one against Kingborough on the 28th of November. He got the 22 there. In fact, another 27 against Kingborough on the 19th of December. I think that was in a T20 game. So a few little contributions there, but big chance here today. Cooper Anthys is in next for the Raiders. It's a full ball. It's in the air. Should be out. Caught by Jared Freeman there at mid-off. Takes the catch comfortably. So young Spencer Hayes just trying to force the issue a little bit. And Bryce Alomes, nice tight over. And a good reward there for effort. And Spencer Hayes is out. He's just scored the 2 runs. Barnard's still there on 45. It's 4 for 89.
Yeah, that was... neither one thing. He hit it quite well, but straight to the fielder at mid-off, and so he'd be disappointed with that, of course.
Yeah, it's a tough form of the game for a batsman, isn't it, Richard? I mean, if you were playing now, you just don't get that chance to have that 2 or 3 overs to get your eye, and you've sort of got to go pretty much from the outset. And if you miss time one, you're in a lot of trouble, like he did there.
Yeah, the answer, of course, is to work so hard at finding the gaps and running well whilst you're getting in, to give yourself that opportunity to look for the boundary later on. but it wasn't to be today for Spencer.
That's the end of the over. 13 overs gone, 4-4-89. So Miles Barnard's been the rock so far. He's still there, 45 off 44.
And needs to take it all the way through now. Got off to a flyer, but has to take it all the way through.
Jared Freeman bowls and Barnard. And the two batsmen almost collide mid-pitch as they were both watching the ball. The confusion there was a little bit because they weren't quite sure it was going to get past Jared Freeman, which it did, down to mid-on. And it could have been they weren't running all that fast, which probably was a useful thing for them, but they nearly collided mid-pitch. Anyway, 1 run to Barnard. Young all-rounder from Riverside, Cooper Anthony's on strike as Freeman bowls. And Anthony does a good job there, gets it round the corner, gets himself off the mark. So, chancing really for 6 singles when you look at the field that's set here, Richard.
Oh, yeah, there's still plenty of opportunity to get up the other end. Cooper Anthony's a terrific young player. He was marked early on as someone with huge potential.
And it's well bowled, Freeman, straight as a die, and Barnard just plays it back along the pitch.
Hasn't enjoyed the best season this year, so he'd be really looking post-Christmas to turn it around for himself and get back to the sorts of contributions he'd been able to make in the last year in particular.
Great bowling here from Jared Freeman as that's just played along the pitch for a second one in the row. And what does Barnard do here? He's getting a bit tied down. This one's a sweep shot. It's a beautiful shot. It's going to be our first boundary for a long, long time. And it is 4 runs to Miles Barnard. And that takes him to 50 off 48 deliveries. So great innings from Miles Barnard. You can hear the applause below us. Yep. Great work. He went right from the start with those 2 beautiful cover drives. He's been more circumspect of late, but great knock from Miles Barnard.
Yeah, well played. As I say, it's now important for him to push all the way through.
As this time he's facing up through the covers again. That'll be another 4. It's going out towards the boundary. I don't think the fieldsmen will get there. They won't. So back-to-back boundaries from Miles Barnard. Gets a bit of momentum back into the Raiders' innings.
I hope what they're seeing here is that, especially on the terrific facility that we have here in the outfield, it's about placement and not just brute strength. Both of those shots were certainly not overhit, but they were well timed and they were always 4.
Yep, and it's been a long time since we've seen a boundary, and there was 2 in a row there. So all of a sudden the score is up to 99 off 14. Barnard 54. Anthony's on 1, and I suppose it's important with Barnard batting well that Anthony just gets off strike, isn't it?
Yeah, and he's well able to do that. He's a very smart young player, Cooper Anthony, and if he can work the ball into the gaps for the next 2 or 3 overs, that will be critical for the hopes of 150 plus is where I'm at the minute.
Scorer Kevin French tells you that's the first boundary since the 4th over, if you can believe that. So in comes Anthony's. This time to Alomes to Anthony's, who just plays on the onside. So 10 overs without a boundary.
Yeah, that's right. Sometimes in the Big Bash they say, there's been a few overs without a 6, but 10 overs without a boundary of any sort, that's extreme. Still, we can post a more than competitive total if we push it 150 and beyond.
Alomes into Anthony's, the 2 A's, and Anthony's plays this into mid-wicket, goes with a shot, will get a single. Fielding done there by Daniel Chapman. And that's the 100 up for the Raiders in the 15th over. So if we look at 8, 9 and over, that probably gets them towards the 140 mark. 150 would probably be a good result from here. 4 wickets down doesn't help. Still some good batters to come. Here's the key though. Miles Barnard, Alomes, bowls to him, hits into the covers. Doesn't quite time it, gets in front of point, slight misfield, just the 1 run. 4 for 101. Barnard goes up to 55. So in that T20 game, you mentioned before, Mowbray 5 for 130. And Southwell's in a bit of trouble, 3 for 29. Jaya Singer made 17. As Alomes, this time to Anthony's, you can just play it back as it keeps it a bit low along the pitch. And a couple of wickets there to James Storey, who's a bit of a veteran now for the Mowbray Cricket Club, 2 for 11.
Mowbray will be pleased with that. They had their first win just prior to Christmas, and South Launceston, of course, have been very powerful over recent years and probably just off the boil a little bit. So, Mowbray, you're very keen to
I have got a score in the other game, Richard, which I'll get to in a moment. I know you're very interested in. In comes Alomes to Anthony's. Plays in the offside. Plays with hard hands straight to the fieldsman at point. No run. Yes, so Launceston made 4 for 139. Even contribution there from Humphrey with 40 not out. Sandra Gingoda with 26. I think I said that right. Smith 26 and Taylor 25. And Riverside are 2 for 56 with Garwood on 29. So
how many overs is that, Dave?
That is, I'll get back to after this ball, as Alomes comes into Anthony's, who plays down the ground, aerial, through cover, pitches about 20 metres in from the boundary. It won't quite get there. They'll probably run 3 here, and they will, as Jared Freeman gets to the ball. It's a nice shot there from Anthony's.
Yep, controlled over extra cover. Yeah, well played.
In the 9th over, 2 for 56. So it's pretty evenly poised, that game there as well. Test match, it's 4 for 153. That's the end of the over. That's 15 overs gone here at UTAS Stadium. 4 for 104, the Raiders. We'll be back in just a moment.
Hi, I'm Wendy Mitchell from Community Care Tasmania. We are really proud to sponsor City Park Radio's Examiner readings each weekday, providing news to many people in our community on a daily basis, keeping you informed and up to date. These readings are a great service for the local community. We at Community Care Tasmania also aim to provide exceptional services. Since being a sponsor of City Park Radio, it has allowed us to connect and help even more people in the community. Just like Community Care Tasmania, you too could become a proud sponsor of City Park Radio.
4 for 104. So 5 overs left. 10 over gets them to 150. 155 or round about. So into the attack comes Ma, left arm round from the opposite end of what he started with. Anthony's plays on the onside. Barnard started off with a single, but sharp fielding there from the number 99 in Keegan Oates, who just bowled the 1 over earlier. So Alec Ma into his 3rd over. Alomes 1 for 10 off 2 has been good so far. Ma, 9 wickets early in the year against the Raiders, and Anthony's, he gets a top edge and it nearly lands in the keeper's lap, but goes through where first slip would have been. Or they try to go back for 2. They change their mind. Probably a good choice there from Anthony's. They just get the 1.
You did a good job to describe that delivery, Dave. I'm not sure how it ended up over the keeper's right shoulder to start with, and then a bit of a mix-up with the running.
Sometimes you get those ones that get the very toe of the bat that can do those funny sort of things.
Yeah, may have been. He was through it early, wasn't he? But probably the bowler deserves a bit of credit for that, bit of pace off, as has become the go nowadays, later in the T20 games.
Ma to Barnard, who plays it through point in the air, bounces a couple of times before it gets the fieldsman there in Fennell. So just the 1 more run. So Gillian singles at the moment are the Raiders. 4 for 106. Barnard 56. Anthony's on 6. Batsman out O'Mani 15, Simpson 2, Wood for 6 and Hayes for 2. Left arm round, Anthony Ma. Short, pulled there by Anthony's in the gap, so he might get a couple here.
Good placement.
Might even get to the boundary. Great placement by Cooper Anthony's. Split the gap there between the 2 fieldsmen, timed it wonderfully. And that's a very handy boundary there to the youngster.
It was similar delivery to the one that found its way over the keeper's head there a couple of balls earlier, but he was patient, he watched it and placed it beautifully. So just backward of square, out towards the railway wing.
Fantastic shot there from Cooper Anthony's. 4 for 110. Ma again to Anthony's is a full toss. He hits it towards mid-wicket. They run the first one hard, but they won't get a second. So we talked about 10 and over, and this over so far, they've got, I think, 7 runs. So there and thereabouts, 4 for 111. Anthony's 11, Barnard 56.
I'm still looking for my 150, and Dave, I think you were hopeful 140. So
yeah, I think 150 is more realistic now. Wickets in hand. As charging there as Barnard gets it right on the toe of the bat. Smart bowling from Anthony Ma. He yorked Barnard, but they get the single, which means Barnard will keep the strike at the end of the over.
Expensive business this for Barnard. He's about to change his bat again.
Yep.
Claims that there's a problem. Good thing he's a pharmacist with a reasonable income, Dave. I wouldn't like to be changing these bats as regularly as he does at about $700 a pop.
How many bats did you have in your kit, Richard? Just the two?
Well, it depends.
Yeah.
But just the two most of the time. Yeah. I had a favourite and didn't want to go much past that.
How long did a bat last you? How many seasons?
Well, it depends. I had a bit of bad luck in my first year of playing Shield cricket. My second game was at Adelaide Oval, and I had some bats that had bad cane in the handles, and I got through 4 in one match.
Okay. Mate, you would have had to borrow one by that stage.
Well, I did. I borrowed one off my cousin Peter Faulkner. He had the same brand.
Yep.
But generally, it'd last, a season.
Yep. Here's Al Holmes, has been very impressive, the youngster, under 18 player. Comes in out of Barnard, who shapes to do the sweep. He does. He gets it to fine leg. This will be close if it hits. Doesn't hit, and they make it. And great running there from Miles Barnard. He was right on the back foot.
Did you notice the big reaction from the fielder at 45? He threw the ball, of course, probably 35 metres, and he was down on his knees. He must have thought it was very close to being a direct hit run out. Yeah,
and that was a risky one, but you've got to do those at this stage. As now that short fine leg goes to fine leg on the boundary. Mid off comes in, so Cooper Anthys, he went through extra cover mid off last over. He might be tempted to do it again as Al Holmes bowls to him, and he does exactly that.
Good shot.
Over cover, and that'll go way towards the boundary. Well timed by Cooper Anthys. And this partnership has really brought the Raiders back on top in this game.
Oh, look, that's a terrific shot. He had space out. He gave himself a bit of space by moving just a little bit outside leg. The ball was wide of off stump, but he put it over extra cover. It was always 4. Lovely poise, lovely balance, well played.
Cooper Anthys moves up to 15 off just 11 balls. 58 from 53 for Barnard. 4 for 117. So important this partnership goes a little bit long for the Raiders. So we've got some batting to come, but these two players are now set. So we've got the deep mid off again. Fine leg comes up. Al Holmes into Anthys and plays it nicely down to our third man. Soft hands there from Cooper Anthys. They'll just get on the run the single there. 4 for 118. So sensible cricket from Anthys. He's not going every ball.
No,
he's
mixing
it up a bit.
He's played well. Yeah, keep it going.
So challenge for young Al Holmes here. He's 1 for 15 in his third over. Young Bryce Al Holmes, in he comes. 4 ball, driven there by Barnard out towards cover. Just the 1 run available.
Good fielding. The man from the cover point boundary was immediately off and attacked the ball. No chance of a second.
So the field's widespread. Got another 20 deliveries left in this innings. 4 for 119. Anthony's on strike. He looks to the leg side this time. Let's see what he'll do here. Is Al Holmes, slower ball. He plays it down the ground nicely. Very wristily there from Cooper Anthys. They might get 2 as Fennell gets the ball. Barnard on his bike gets back. Well run, direct hit, but he's well home is Barnard.
Oh, look, that was well
aggressive
played.
Running.
Yeah, it was terrific. The bowler held the ball back, but Anthys was able to hold his shot and play with the wrists and back past the bowler.
That's where you sometimes see a caught and bowl where the player just goes through the shot a bit early, but he did check the shot nicely.
Yeah, he was well in control. It was a modern shot, wasn't it?
4 for 121. Al Holmes. Anthys advances. He's hit this into the onside. Now this might be caught on the boundary. It's going to land between 3 fieldsmen. It does. He couldn't have placed it any better. The 3 converged. Probably one of them could have gone for the catch, but it was one of those situations where everyone looked at each other and it landed safely.
And that, adding an extra element of intrigue to the delivery was that from our commentary position, the ball at its highest was lost.
Yep, we weren't quite sure how far it was going to go.
Roof of the stand off the bat, it seemed like it was 6, but it held up. The 3 fielders like a converging triangle with it. No one made it. So
it was 2 runs in the end.
In the end, all that matters is 2.
4 for 123 off 17. Anthony's now 20 off 14. Second top scorer for the Raiders. Barnard 59 off 54. And now here's Jared Freeman. Good player to have in this situation for Lindisfarne, sweep shot from big appeal there. I'm not sure whether they hit the bat or come off pad, but it's gone behind the keeper and they'll get a couple of runs. So let's see if that deflected off the pad. Umpire shakes for leg byes. Yes, it did. So can't have been too far away from LBW, therefore.
I had it out, Dave. Yeah, but...
we are behind the action here and slightly on an angle, but yeah, fairly adjacent. But there it is. Barnard survives. Round the wicket again, Freeman to Barnard. He goes for the big one. That's way in the air. Someone should get under this. Out at deep mid-wicket. And the catch is dropped. So a chance there for Barnard. Try and pick up the player there. It's Keegan Oates. It's dropped it at mid-wicket.
The ball seemed to be in the air for a month, didn't it?
Yeah, and he made good ground to it, made good position, and just...
he looked uneasy under it, though, didn't he? And, in the end, it didn't get much of a hand on it at all.
And it's straight out there again from Barnard. He got 2 runs from that last one. This will be the maximum. It is! Over the fence, 6 runs, Miles Barnard. And this is a huge over now for the Raiders. Barnard goes up to 67. It's our first 6 of the day. 4 for 133. And now 150 is well and truly in sight. Maybe 160.
And to rub salt into the wound, the fielder has got to scale the fence to access the grandstand to go and find the ball. And for Jared Freeman, he wouldn't be seeing the funny side of that, having had the batsman dropped and then going for 6 off the next delivery. So,
a game of shifting momentum. So the Raiders got off that great start, 60 off 6.
150 back on...
well and truly.
In sights now.
Want to keep wickets in hand here, though. These two are going well. It's this time sensible from Barnard. He just plays it down a bit off. Now they're thinking about 2. Anthony's turns and says no, quite rightly. It's the 1 run. 2 left in the over. 4 for 134. Miles Barnard, 68. It's his best knock for the season. He loves these T20 games. He's got the game for it. Round the wicket now to Anthys, who just plays into the onside for another single to deep mid-wicket. Interesting to see who bowls the last 2 overs. Kumar has still got 1 left, as does Al Ohms. Round the wicket, Freeman to Barnard, who just chops down on it. No run there. Well bowled by Freeman. Just push it through a bit quicker, Richard. And
yes,
nice dot ball.
That's what the off-spinners revert to, don't they? When they're under pressure, they're flatter and faster. Understandably, of course, but that's the way it goes.
2 overs remaining. 4 for 135. Anthony's on 21. Barnard on 68.
And they're going with the young bowler again, Alomes.
Oh, is it Jack Freeman might have changed ends, I think.
Oh,
Richard?
Right. Yep, there we go.
So a bit of a mixed bag today from Jack Freeman. Not a great first over, but he really struck back. He took a wicket. It's now just sitting on 1 for 21 off the 3 overs. So his second and third overs were very good indeed. He took the wicket of young Simpson.
And a cameo of an innings here from Anthys. And they'll be looking to, maybe 10 or 12 in each of these last 2 overs would be what they're eyeing off.
Okay, here we go as Freeman comes into Anthys. Penultimate over. He plays it nicely down to third man. And just gets the single. So, Anthys, he's capable of doing the big shots himself, but he might just try and give it to Miles Barnard a bit here. He's been there since the start.
And would be looking to hit to the shorter boundary. Not that it's short, but shorter than the other side, but a little into the wind. So
he comes and he hits it beautifully. Does Miles Barnard backward of square, and it might almost be 6. Bounced very close to the line there. See the signal from the umpire and the fieldsman. There's a couple of spectators down in that area as well. It's a 4.
Couple of spectators to keep the fielder honest.
Yeah, absolutely. It's good to see. It's a 4 in the end, so lovely shot. Gee, the timing was there. That raced to the boundary.
Yeah, look, must have been very close to 6. And it was only, 8 or 10 metres to the fielder's left-hand side, but he was no chance.
Okay, so Jack Freeman, not a great delivery there on leg stump, shortish, but he picked it up beautifully. Moves to 72. Does Barnard. 4 for 140. Next one he advances, misses, through him again.
No ball.
No ball. You saw that one, Richard, and Jack Freeman throws his head back because he knows that at this stage of the game, the extra run plus the free hit are pretty crucial.
Now, Barnard has a very big gap from fine leg to forward square leg. No fielder between those two, and they're best part of 100 metres apart.
Of course, there's no power surge in these games. There's still the 5 out. This time it's short. And he probably tried it a bit too hard there, and Jack Freeman gets away with that because it goes straight through him again as Miles Barnard didn't make contact.
It's probably one of the biggest gaps in skill between Premier League cricket and the next level. It's the way that batsmen set themselves for a free hit. Almost without exception, club cricketers are inclined to
try and hit the living daylights out of it.
Yeah, and look to the wrong zones perhaps.
As Freeman comes into Barnard, that's a wide. So this is reminiscent of his first over with a few extras on the board here.
Not the prettiest over so far.
Handy runs. 1 for 4, as English would say. 72 Barnard, 22 Anthys. Partnership of 52, which escaped me. Richard, that's a 50 partnership, which is pretty big in the context of this game.
Oh, well, it's massive.
Next delivery, Barnard just plays in the offside. Nice slow ball there from Freeman. Can only get the single as Al Ames comes into field.
Yeah, we're close enough at the end for both batsmen to be certainly having in mind their couple of zones to find the boundary. And for Anthys, there'll be one behind square leg. He might look to target mid-wicket again, but he's already shown he can go over extra cover.
And here comes Jack Freeman to Cooper Anthys. It's wide. Is it too wide? It is. Umpire's arms are outstretched. Jack Freeman looks round. A quizzical look there from McGann as well. Jack Freeman not happy with that, but it's in the scorebook.
Yeah, rarely did the umpires say, no, you're right, Jack. That wasn't a swat.
I'll change my mind.
First thought. Yep. But he was certainly questioning it, wasn't he?
If you at a loose end tonight, come down here at 6:30 for the next game involving the Raiders. Greater Northern Raiders versus North Hobart. Should be a beauty. Jack Freeman now into Anthys. Oh, that's short, under edge, onto the pad, spills onto the offside. Anthony's not happy, but still gets a run. So score goes up to 145 here. Don't watch the Big Bash tonight. Get down and watch some great cricket.
Yeah, look, this Greater Northern Raiders Premier League concept is all about just providing opportunities for our best players in the north. And part of that is to get some community engagement and some interest in local players. So if we've got this opportunity to play at UTAS, as we have today and in several other days this season, yeah, great chance tonight, under lights no less.
This one's pulled by Barnard round the corner, behind square. They should get 2 here. Not where he meant it to go, but it turns out a good result. As they double up there. That's the end of the 19th over. 4 for 147. Barnard up to 75. Cooper Anthys on 23. So a big over here pushes 160, and that's a really good score.
Yeah, 160 in BBL terms is not necessarily a big score, but in Premier League cricket that certainly gets you in the game. And you know, if we can at some stage in the bowling innings get a little cluster of wickets, then you know that certainly has us holding our T20 season alive. As you were saying before, we need to win both of our games today to force a spot in the grand final 1v2.
That's right. As Cooper Anthony just makes the bowler wait for a moment. Round the wicket, Anthony Marr. This one's short. Just scooped on the offside by Anthony. He should be caught, and he is. So nice catch there at extra cover. Sees the end of a good knock there from Cooper Anthys.
Looks like the fielder misjudged that.
Yeah.
They ended up catching it really well, but much lower to the ground than should have been necessary. But
Daniel Chapman was the catch on that occasion, so yeah.
Anthys played really well, came in at a critical stage where we'd lost a few wickets, but he knocked it around early, found the boundary a couple of times, and really did his job. So
very handy 23 there from Cooper Anthys, and the partnership was also very crucial indeed.
Elliston Buckley is the incoming batsman from Launceston. who hasn't had a great season with the bat, but is an incredible striker of the ball. Obviously, won't be able to expect too much from him today. He's not on strike, and there's only 4 balls remaining. But
smart play from Barnard to get cross over there. The ball wasn't there for that long, so he's on strike now to Ma. He tries to hit this one. It might have been an under edge. It was very close to the off stump. So 2 scoreless balls to start this last over is probably not what the doctor ordered for the Raiders.
No. I think just got to get the ball into the outfield and run hard here. Need 6 or 8 at least off these last 4 balls.
So round the wicket, bowling tight lines here is Anthony Ma. And he comes, advancing as Barnard just drops on the offside. Smart bowling again from Ma. He just dropped a bit short.
Look, I think he's varying his pace much more than is evident from up here. I mean, that really rushed Barnard. He's been batting for 20 overs, but he was really rushed. Whereas the ball before beat him because it was, it was dying by the time it got to him. So well bowled.
So just details there on Cooper Anthony's innings after this ball, because rushing in now is Ma to Elliston Buckley. This one's short. He pulls out towards square leg. Freeman comes in, gets it on the bounce, gets off the mark. So 1 run there. Takes the total to 149. So it's 150 to win if they don't score again. So that's not too bad. Cooper Anthony's 23 off 18, 26 minutes, 2 fours in that inning. So very handy indeed. Partnership there was 58 with Miles Barnard, who's still there on 76. In comes Ma. 2 deliveries remaining. This one goes straight up in the air. Might be safe. Goes down towards third man. Pitches now. They'll have to come back for 2, I reckon. They do, as Fennell throws it in. So 2 runs there. That's the 150 up. 5 for 151 is the score. And Barnard up to 78. Looking a bit tired, as you'd expect, been in there all innings. Fine knock. Probably one of the best knocks for the Raiders this season. We had a great couple of scores there at NTCA ground early in the year. Of course, really one of the greatest. So Ma round the wicket, this time to Barnard through the covers. They might try and go for 2 here. They'll double it up. Misfield. They'll get it easily. They might even think of 3. So a bit of sloppy fielding there to finish with, but a great innings from Miles Barnard to finish off there. Ends on 80 runs off 68 deliveries, and Raiders end up with 5 for 153.
Look, a terrific innings from Barnard. He started off on fire and then needed to consolidate and then pushed it along again at the end. So that was really well played. He seems to be physically distressed. It's not through temperature, but it is an indication of what we take for granted at the next level up. Yep. That you wouldn't expect the opening batsman in a T20 game to be physically distressed like Barnard is there. They're fitter. Miles is a full-time professional, and of course he plays
NPL Taz.
Yes, he plays soccer. He's a fit man, but he works full-time. Yep. So his level of fitness is not, is not to that of the players playing BBL, but he played really well. He's been congratulated by his teammates, and the Raiders have a score on the board that will give their bowlers, good heartening, good encouragement to get in there and look to defend. Got
a really warm round of applause there from the people in the shade there in the RACT stand. So let's go through the card here from start to finish, because a very entertaining innings there from the Greater Northern Raiders. I'd be pretty happy with where they're situated at the halfway mark of the game. So the first man out was Omani. He was stumped McGann, bowled Burke for 15. Simpson caught McGann, bowled Jack Freeman for 2. Oliver Wood was bowled by Jared Freeman for 6. Spencer Hayes caught by Jared Freeman, bowled by Alomes for 2. And Anthony's was caught. Chapman bowled Ma for 23. Not out batsman there was Elliston Buckley, and he was not out on 1. And Barnard 80 from 68 balls, 7 fours and 1 6. The bowling, 4 overs for Alec Ma, 1 for 31. And Jack Freeman, 4 overs, 1 for 33. Keegan Oates, 1 over, none for 13. Burke, I think the standout bowler, Richard, 4 overs, 1 for 13. The young left arm leggy. Jared Freeman, 4 overs, 1 for 32. And Bryce Alomes did a good job, 3 overs, 1 for 21. Before we go for some messages, Richard, your thoughts on that first innings?
Look, I agree that young Burke, the left arm leg spinner, he was excellent. He would have I'm assuming, I believe he would have come into to today's game not knowing that he would have bowled his full allocation of 4 overs, but he bowled them right through. He kept the ball wide, largely wide of the right-handers off stump, and made them drag him across. And so he was bowling through that time where the Raiders did lose some wickets and needed to consolidate, so well done to him. You mentioned early on that at times the Lindisfarne fielding was a little bit sloppy. Look, it's a different game when you're playing on a big stadium like this, and the fielders need to establish how far off the boundary they need to be able to save two. And a couple of times those fielders did seem to get themselves lost. I thought the Raiders' innings was well built. Built around Miles Barnard, of course, but Cooper Anthus at the end, he did an exceptional job.
That's a really important partnership, wasn't it?
It was. He came in, he got busy early, he knew his zones, and wasn't until the last over that he was out. So that partnership took
4 for 89 they were, to 4 for 147.
And at 4 for 89, you're thinking 125 or 130 perhaps at that stage. I know that the sort of figure that you were starting to talk about. Well, at 130, you probably expect to be, well, you are, at least 20 or 30 below par. And Lindisfarne, who've brought in a relatively young team, could do that. You would expect to be doing that fairly easy. But at 150, if we can get a couple or 3 wickets, in a short space of time at any stage through that innings, then
the pressure will be on.
I think the Raiders are in a good spot. Yep.
That's Richard Bennett here for City Park Radio Sport and the Cricket Tasmania Premier League live stream. We're back in a minute or two, and we'll have a look at some other scores that are happening around northern Tasmania.
Love Lonnie Food and Drinks. There's more to love in Launceston Central City, from quirky cafes and award-winning restaurants through to takeaway joints, local pubs and relaxed bars. You can find yourself a world away with an array of international flavours, or right at home with delicious locally sourced produce. With over 100 hospitality venues to choose from, you'll be sure to uncover some of Launceston's best-kept secrets. Discover it for yourself at launcestoncentralcity.com.au. A sponsor of City Park Radio.
If you thought Saturday afternoons were just for sport, you're mixed up. City Park Radio presents Saturday Afternoon Mix every Saturday afternoon from 2 till 5 with the best sport alternative around. 3 hours of great music from the 50s to the present. It's music on the lighter side with something for everyone to enjoy. Get into the mix. Saturday Afternoon Mix from 2 till 5 every Saturday on City Park Radio.
City Park Radio relies on its members, volunteers and local business to maintain the programs you enjoy, and you can support them and the wide variety of programs by making a donation to the station, and we've made it easier for you to donate. Just head for our website on your PC or smart device and click the Donate Now button. Anything over $2 is tax deductible, and it'll support your favourite community radio station. Go on, do it now. Go to our website, cityparkradio.com. Donate now to City Park Radio.
Want to learn to play music? Playing music is so much fun and has all kinds of cognitive and social benefits. Barrett's Music can help you get there. They can help select the best instrument for you, choose appropriate learning books and find a teacher. Plus, they offer flexible, interest-free payment plans. If you pick an instrument that you really like, find a teacher and put time aside each week to practice. Then you can play music. Get started now with Barrett's Music, 104 George Street, Launceston, a sponsor of City Park Radio.
Local sport, local music, local arts and culture on your City Park Radio, 103.7 and 96.5 FM.
Okay, well, let's go round the grounds here because we've got a lot happening in the Cricket North competition and the Cricket Tasmania Premier League. So let's start with the Midland Tractors T20 Cup and Launceston versus Riverside. And Launceston made 4 for 139 off their 20 overs. Ben Humphrey top scoring there with 40. And in reply, Riverside are 7 for 78, so in a bit of trouble there. And Garwood made 34. And the chief destroyers there have been Beaumont with 3 for 4. Impressive.
Young Tom Beaumont.
Yep. And also 2 for 10 from Sander Gridgoda. I think that's how you say it.
Look, I'll go with that.
Go with that. So, Launceston very much in control in that game. In the other game, which was South Launceston versus Mowbray, in that game, Mowbray made 5 for 130, which Luke Scott made 41 and Hughes made 33. And South Launceston are 5 for 77 off 14 overs. So, looks like Mowbray might be on top there. And the top scorer there is Harris with 25 not out. So, good work there from him. Let's look around the Cricket Tasmania Premier League because there's some interesting games going on there. And one that we're keeping our eye on because for the Raiders to make any chance of to make the finals, South Hobart Sandy Bay needs to lose one of their games today. Now, they're in control of this first game. In fact, they made the exact same score as the Raiders, 5 for 153, with Sean Willis making 60 and Tom Andrews 49. And in reply, the Uni team are 4 for 50 off 10. So you'd probably favour South Hobart Sandy Bay in that game. And Gabe Bell has been doing pretty well. They're 2 for 11 off 3. Other games, if I just look around here, we've got Glenorchy versus Clarence is another game that's on at the moment. And Clarence made 5 for 111 from their 20 overs. And in reply, Glenorchy cruising here at the moment, 3 for 97. And Spotswood is on 39. So that brings you up to date there with those games. And looks like we had a quick turnaround because the batsmen are coming out already, Richard.
They are, and Coach Coyle has got the Raiders in a huddle, and they'll be gearing themselves for a critical first few overs, of course.
Yep, so quick turnaround. It's 29 minutes past 12, so not a bad over rate there from Lindisfarne. Had a few spinners getting through their overs reasonably quickly. So the Raiders coming out onto the beautiful site. I mean, we just take it for granted, don't we, Richard? But we look out here, the pitch looks wonderful out in the field. The setting, not a cloud hardly in the sky. It's going to be a great afternoon of cricket.
Well, I hope we don't take it for granted because any of us who've played cricket in Launceston know that there have been lots of instances where we couldn't even conceive of facilities like this. Over our back, Dave, is Invermay Park, which is another extraordinarily good facility, but it wasn't always the case. And of course, it's really only these last 2 or 3 years since we've had the Big Bash opportunity in Launceston that we've been able to have any local cricket at UTAS Stadium. So it's a terrific opportunity for the members of the Raiders and the other Premier League clubs to be able to play on this first class surface.
Now, interesting choice of opening bowler. And we've got Brodie Hayes, who's more noted as an opening batsman, especially in the longer form of the game. He didn't get to the crease today, but he's made himself into a handy bowler, and he's going to open the bowl with some left-arm spin.
Yeah, under-bowled, rarely bowls for the Raiders, but clearly the idea here is to sneak through early on. Often the opening batters are not very familiar with starting their innings against spin, and as you say, left-arm orthodox.
Get to his figures in a moment. It's around the wicket to Oates. He plays it back down the pitch, fielded by Hayes himself. Yes, so 2 overs, 2 for 11 he took against Uni on the 28th of November.
Well, we'd take that, wouldn't we?
Yep. I think that was in a T20 game, so we'll see. Is it round the wicket? And Oates lashes out, so he's just pushing him through outside of stump. And Oates can't get a run. 2 dot balls.
Fairly standard field. The 2 fielders out are long off and deep square leg.
Round the wicket again, flights this one, hits it down the ground. Oliver Woodfields, no run. So nice tight start here from Brodie Hayes. Round the wicket, hurrying through this first over, tossed it up again. Same result, down to mid-on, Oliver Woodfields.
Getting through this over in world record time, Dave.
I've got a feeling Oates might try and go over the top there at mid-on in a moment. Just the 2 players out, of course, in the power play. This one's outside off stump. He tries to drag it to the onside. He will get a single. He finds a gap, fielded in the deep.
By Spencer Hayes, and well done. As soon as the ball hit the bat, he was on and was in 30 metres to prevent any chance of a second.
So we've on strike now. Declan Waddington.
Left-hander.
Yep.
So the field, of course, has changed.
Son of Mark Waddington, who teaches down at St Virgil's College in Hobart. Hello, Mark, if you're watching. As coming over the wicket now is Brodie Hayes to Waddington, who advances, plays it straight down to deep mid-off. So just the 2 runs off that first over. Very tidy start there from Brodie Hayes. And none for 2's the score.
Good start. Now, John O. Chapman's going to bowl the second over. He's had a terrific year. It's been a great reward for his commitment to the Raiders program. He's played in each of the 3 seasons, been unwavering in his commitment to the concept, and he is a terrific grade bowler, and I think has 21 or 22 wickets for the season.
I'll check that in a second there, Richard. Yep.
Sorry to put you under the pump.
That's right. I've got
You're doing all the jobs, Dave. Champion bloke. The fellas love to play alongside him, and really good bowler. So he'll bowl right arm over, seam up to the left-handed batsman.
22 wickets, averaging 15.9. Best bowling 4 for 25, so very consistent season. And you're right, it probably doesn't fit the age profile of the rest of the team. He could quite easily be playing Cricket North. You know, he's in his mid-20s, but he's decided he wants to play at this level, and he's probably helping out a lot of the younger players as well.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it'd be terrific to think that a guy like John O might, with second 11 cricket next year, might get an opportunity to step up. He's a good aggressive batsman. He's good in the field. Taking his 22 wickets at 15. What more could be be asked of him? He's been terrific.
First ball for Chapman against Oates. There's a good one on the leg stump. He just knocks it on the onside for a single. So none for 3 now. Lindisfarne chasing 154 for victory.
Chapman's coming off he's quite a short run up, isn't it, for an opening bowler?
Yep.
We're so used to them pushing nearly off the side screen. John O's probably coming off about 12 or 13 metres. That's all. He's a strong bowler and bowls with a strong shoulder action. Been working, as all the bowlers have, with Roger Brown, who's arguably he's certainly Northern Tasmania's best bowling coach. And puts a lot of work, just quietly goes about putting a lot of work into the bowlers, which is, fantastic asset for the program.
Oliver Wood decides to put in a slip here for Keegan Oates. He faces his first ball from Chapman. It's beaten outside off stump. It's a nice little delivery. And we didn't see the ball beat the bat from the paceman anyway in that first innings, so that's a fine delivery. Yeah,
it's a beautiful line and length there. And well done, Captain Wood, to put a slip in. Wickets are crucial in these early stages, and starting with the left arm orthodox, you take away that attacking thing, so to have the slip in is a great move, I think.
Chapman down leg side, that's a wide. It's a steepling delivery.
Probably just over leg stump and not much worse than that, but of course the umpires are always going to call those wides in these games.
Keeper Elliston Buckley, young boy from Launceston Church Grammar School.
Yeah, and Launceston Cricket Club player.
It's a familiar pathway, Richard.
Familiar pathway, mate, yes.
Chapman this time to Oates, who just lays it down towards third man, controls it, soft hands. Single.
There's been some fairly good players gone through the grammar school and ended up at Launceston Cricket Club. Dave, I'll let you list them later on.
David Boone, Peter Faulkner, James Faulkner.
Yeah, well, that's not a bad start, is it?
I think...
I don't know what happened to George Bailey. He ended up at South Launceston, but anyway, that's another story.
Chapman to Waddington, edgy shot, not too bad though. He gets down a third man, they might think of a second, just gets the one. I think playing later on for North Hobart might have been young Alex Pycroft.
Yep.
Who's in that same pathway. Was it Launceston Cricket Club?
Yes, certainly was, Yep.
Played a bit for Tassie.
He did. Does.
So it'd be good to see this under lights this evening in the North Hobart game. As here comes Chapman now. Right on target there to Keegan Oates, who can just defend down the pitch. So tight start for the Raiders.
It's been good bowling, hasn't it? We commented on the first over that from the seam up from Lindisfarne as the North Hobart boys arrive at the ground, because there is 3 games here today.
Yep.
The Raiders are involved in the first and the third, but Lindisfarne and North Hobart play in the middle.
So into the covers. They'll just get a single here. It's well fielded there by
Anthus.
Yep, the long flying locks. So 1 run. So no boundaries in the first 2 overs. None for 7 after 2. Of course, what those tight overs do, Richard, is just force that run rate required up a little bit. It's up now to 8.2. Of course, very manageable, but a few tight overs can start to push that run rate required up bit by bit.
So just the 1 over for Brody Hayes. It looks like
Hollywood, I think, is it?
No, it looks probably James
Beattie.
He's with the captain Wood, but
That's
James Beattie to bowl left arm over. And he's a bit of an X-factor bowler, Beattie. When on song, he can be really dangerous. So another one who's committed fantastically to the Raiders program. He's been studying in Hobart and now has completed his engineering degree.
James Beattie into Oates, left arm over. Oates drives nicely down the ground, just gets the single. Ooh, direct hit, but Oates was through comfortably. Well fielded there by Ollie Wood. Yeah, the 9 wickets this season for James Beattie. Hasn't played every game. Best bowling 3 for 16, averaging 28.2.
Yeah, so probably not the most productive of his seasons, but look, his commitment to the program has been fantastic. By the time the Raiders came along, he had already made a move from Launceston for study reasons and was studying engineering in Hobart, so had every right to be playing with a Hobart-based club, but decided that the Raiders was for him. And has stuck with it really well. Starts his career this year, I think, with one of the utilities in Launceston.
Beattie now to Waddington, who plays towards third man. Plays it slowly, but they only the chance for the 1 run. So no boundaries just yet.
I really like the way the Raiders are up and about in the field. They are alert. They're moving smartly to the ball. And I'm thinking they're giving themselves every chance to take that first opportunity when it comes.
So we've got a third man and deep forward square leg of the 2 players out. We're still in the power play in the 3rd over. As Beattie this time to Oates, who drives through the covers. Misfield, but probably save 4. And just get the single. And fielding there from Will Bennett. Nephew of your good self, Richard?
Yes, Will's my brother's son. Yep. I have 3 sons of my own, Dave, but unfortunately no cricketers this year.
No cricketers, right. There we go.
It's another story.
Left arm over the wicket to Waddington is Beattie. Waddington doesn't time this one on the onside. It's a dot ball. None for 10 now off 2.4 overs.
A little bit of indecision there.
I took my eye off the ball there. Richard, what happened there?
It was a little bit of a...
shy at the stumps?
Half under... shy at the stumps and a half an overthrow chance, but the batsmen seem to want to talk about it for a while.
Oates 5, Waddington 4. Beattie into Waddington. Drives down the ground, not a bad shot, didn't quite time it. They'll get a single. Sharp fielding again there at mid-on.
I like the way the Raiders haven't made it easy necessarily to get a single early. I think it's an era of T20 cricket that too early in the innings, the fielding side can tend to push back and just make it easy for the batsman to get up the other end.
James Beattie bowling tightly so far, this time to Oates, who plays in the air through the covers dangerously. That might get out towards the boundary. Bennett in pursuit, he might just haul it in. Yes, he does. And they'll come back there for 3.
So that was very nearly the opportunity that they've been looking for. It was the leading half of the bat, and it's skewed out into the offside, and just luckily was found the gap, but it was at catchable height.
So 3 overs down, none for 17. Sorry, none for 14, beg your pardon. Oates on 8, Waddington on 5. So 3 tight overs. John Chapman's going to come back for his second. So we've seen 3 bowlers so far.
Yeah, I think Chapman will bowl these 2 and then probably 2 of the last 4. That's most likely the...
Plenty of spin options there, Richard. So we've got Anthys, Simpson, Bennett.
Yep.
As this one's down through third man. This might go all the way as it's very fine. Fielder gets round. Can't stop it. First boundary of the innings to Keegan Oates. Went hard at that one. Thick edge through about third slip region. And it's gone for a boundary, so it just relieves the pressure a little bit for Lindisfarne. And they're up to 18 in the fourth over.
It's a relatively slow start for Lindisfarne, but the Raiders will be looking to pick up wickets.
Yeah, wickets are important. They're in these overs in T20 games. This is just played on the onside here by Oates. Good ball from Chapman, right on the money once again. What do you think advantage it is for the Raiders today, Richard, to play the first and third game? Get to cool down a bit?
Yeah, look, it is a bit much to play consecutive T20 games. You get a bit rushed and you become...
There's Chapman this time. Oates gets through the covers. That's a beautiful shot. That's the shot of the innings so far. Hit it on the up. Yeah. Straight through the covers into the boundary.
Certainly not a half volley, was it?
No.
It was. He had showed terrific wrists through the ball, hands through the ball, and Anthus turned around, but he knew it was almost to the boundary by the time he did.
So just picking up the rate here a little bit, up to 22 now. Keegan Oates, 16 off 15. Waddington on 5. It's an important little period here for the Raiders. Control early, but a couple of boundaries have changed that. As just playing it down nicely there to third man is Keegan Oates. Of course, as Richard mentioned, an outstanding young cricketer at 19 level.
Yes, he'd be 20, I would think now. And I think, I should know this, but I think he's involved in some cricket. Taz, I'm not sure that he's contracted, but he's certainly there and thereabouts.
Chapman this time to Waddington. Hits it on the onside. It's too powerfully, can't get it through the field.
Spencer Hayes, the fielder there.
So dot ball. None for 23. One ball left in the fourth over. So Jono Chapman out of the Westbury Cricket Club. Right arm over. This time Waddington's beaten. He tries to get through the onside. Head was in the air. Straight through to Elston Buckley. So that's the end of Chapman's over. After 4 overs, it's none for 23. 8.2 is the run rate required. So a couple of boundaries in that over. One from perhaps a streaky sort of shot, but another fine cover drive by Keegan Oates.
Yeah, the cover drive was a lovely shot, wasn't it? Maybe the outside edge was a bit unfortunate for us. Beattie to continue from the City end.
It's the end of the power play after 4 overs, but the Raiders just going at the moment with just the 2 players out. So tempting Keegan Oates to hit over the infield. Beattie to Oates. This one's on the stumps. He just turns it round the corner. Slightly risky single, but Chapman does the fielding there. 1 run now to Keegan Oates, who's up to 18.
Amazing how you can get there. They went straight away and ended up making it quite comfortably, but Chapman was in the circle and the ball went directly to him. They went straight away, made it.
Beattie left arm over to Waddington, who goes through the offside, down a third man. It was in the air for a while. Just gets the single as it goes down towards Chapman.
Waddington hasn't looked as comfortable as Oates at all. That was a bit agricultural, that shot, and just spewed out over gully.
Number 25. So remembering that the Raiders put on 60 for their opening partnership earlier. This one short from Beattie, not a great ball. Oates didn't quite time it, but he does get it over mid-wicket. Probably will run out towards the boundary. Players get there just in time. Flick back, but they'll get 3 comfortably. He just dug it in short there, Beattie. Wasn't a great ball, but Oates didn't get the time he wanted, but still gets the 3 runs.
Yeah, I guess the delivery's got to be either a little bit quicker, a little bit higher, or, one of those, deceptive off-pace deliveries.
So Beattie now to Waddington. This ball, Waddington tries to go down to third man. Close to a wide. Fair delivery.
Just 3 on the leg side now, so Beattie will need to stay on, off, or outside. Not a bad move. Encouraging the batsman to look to drag it across.
Beattie from the town end at UTAS Stadium. And this time to Waddington. This one short. Waddington pulls straight to mid-wicket. No run. It's quite got his timing going yet, Declan Waddington. Left-hander. So the test match, it's 4 for 180. So India starting a bit of a partnership there. Very tense battle there. As Beattie this time. Waddington is all tucked up there. He tries to turn on the onside. Bit of extra pace from Beattie. Falls in the offside, no run. So good over there from James Beattie. 5 overs down and none for 20. And I think at this stage the Raiders are around the none for 50 mark, Richard. But crucially for Lindisfarne, no wickets down so far.
Yeah, and of course from here the Raiders went through a period of 8 or 10 overs where we were quite sluggish. We lost a couple of wickets and had to rebuild. So, of course, the next few overs are critical. Oliver Wood to come on for his first over. He's been quite expensive at times in the one-day and T20 format this year, so he'll be looking to keep it tight.
Get his stats up for the year. To have a bit of a look at his bowling performance. Yeah, 12 wickets this season, average 31.7. So in comes Ollie Wood to Oates. This on leg stump, he turns it straight to square leg, and backing up a long way is Waddington, shy at the stumps.
Good fielding, well done.
Good fielding there from James Beattie. He's bowled that last over.
So we've got both of the outfieldsmen on the offside here, just the 4 on the leg side, all in the ring.
Yeah, it's, of course they could have many more players outside now if they wanted to, so they're just keeping the pressure on these opening batsmen, forcing them to try and hit over the top. Ollie Wood this time, and he does this time. Keegan Oates out towards deep mid-wicket, and that's going to bounce once, twice, 3 times over the rope. So that's a 4 there to Keegan Oates. Now, does Ollie Wood now put the field back in response to that? We'll wait and see, but fine shot from Oates. Moves up to 25, none for 32.
The field remains the same. I think the ball was probably a bit short. So he'll look to keep it outside, off stump, and a bit fuller, I think.
As this time he goes through the covers, that's a really nice shot. Steams out towards the boundary. As batsman had to change direction, but just the one run. In the end, it wasn't a bad fielding effort out there from Spencer Hayes.
It looked like he'd overrun it and had to make a desperate lunge back to his left, but he stopped it well, and he's a very good fielder, Spencer. That he's blessed with a good throwing arm, which is obviously big help when you're that far out in the deep.
So Oliver Wood, stuttering start to his run up. And he comes now towards Waddington. Right arm over, Waddington plays out to deep point. So the runs are starting to flow here now for Lindisfarne. Another single. Score up to 34. Run rate required 8.3, so it's still very manageable. Yeah, so Ollie Wood, probably that average bowling average would be a bit higher than we'd like this season. Of course, it's a tough competition, the Cricket Tasmania Premier League. Strike rate 47.6 for Ollie Wood this year. He comes this time to Oates, and that's a good delivery right on the stumps. Tucks Oates up, plays straight down the pitch. None for 34 is the score, so still under that 6 and over. Good voice in the field.
A few more spectators arriving, Dave. I'd say that it's probably increased 50% since we started.
That's good to see. As I said, hopefully with the game on this evening, people come out and have a bit of a look. So Ollie Wood now into Keegan Oates, who drives, gets a thick edge straight down to third man for 1 run.
Of course, all Premier League cricket free of charge for entry.
That's the end of the over. 6 overs down, none for 34. We'll take a break. Here's some messages from City Park Radio.
There's no doubt everyone is feeling impacted in some way by coronavirus. From financial stress to relationship challenges, our days look very different. It's normal to be feeling a little overwhelmed or perhaps completely out of your depth. That's why Beyond Blue has developed the Coronavirus Mental Wellbeing Support Service. It's free and available 24/7. So if you're feeling unsure about how to cope, chat to one of our expert counsellors by calling 1800 512 348 or visit coronavirus.beyondblue.org.au.
Now, Richard, just during the break there, you might have informed me that the power play might be a little bit different. It might be 6 overs?
Yeah, I think...
Right. I was
think
wondering why the players weren't out. There we go. So that solves that mystery. So, yeah, I can see now they're spreading far and wide as we're now into the 7th over.
Yeah, and Cooper Anthus to bowl his off-spinners.
So none for 35. Run rate required 8.5. So Cooper Anthus, who batted really well before, a great partnership with Miles Barnard. Bowling round the wicket to Keegan Oates. First delivery is on leg stump, down leg side, and it's a wide. So we're not taken cleanly there by Elliston Buckley. Groans there from Richard Bennett.
Yeah, I thought there might have been a bit of pad on that, but obviously not. Batsman went to half sweep it and didn't make contact.
This one's flighted, it's down the ground. Is it going to be caught? It's on the boundary. Player getting under it. 6 runs. So it was Bennett down there, but big hit there from Keegan Oates. Hit it very sweetly and cleared the fieldsman there. So chanced his arm and got the rewards. Score goes up to 42.
Yeah, it looked a chance in the air, but it cleared the boundary rope easily in the end.
5 wickets this season for Cooper Anthus in the Cricket Tasmania Premier League. Best of 3 for 29.
So immediately an adjustment to the field. We've got this, what I see is still this unusual thing of 3 of the 4 fieldsmen on the leg side on the boundary.
And he's missed that one. And Elson Buckley missed it as well.
Look, that's a desperately unfortunate missed stumping there. The batsman was well beaten and well stranded. Wicketkeeper fumbled and
chance there.
Couldn't recover.
As Oates leans back, just plays in the offside. And fielded there by Miles Barnard. Yeah, it's a big chance to Elson Buckley. You can see he's, let's see with the binoculars, he's not all that happy with himself. Just needs to concentrate on the next one. None for 43, so it's been 2 good opening partnerships have been a feature of today's games. 61 put on by Omani and Barnard earlier. Anthony's round the wicket. This one's just played into the covers there by Waddington. Just playing the anchor role at the moment is Waddington, 7 off 14. But Oates is 34 off 26. Next ball, Waddington advances, gets hit on the pad, big shout for LBW, more enthusiasm from the bowl than the keeper. But he's flying it well at the moment as Cooper Anthus.
Look, they're coming out nicely for him. And well done that he hasn't dropped his bundle after that missed chance. Important that he hangs in.
Round the wicket, this one's short, not a great ball. Is he going to get away with it? He may just do as they it's pulled around the wicket to deep square leg. They think about the second.
Well
just get the 1 run.
Well fielded, Brody Hayes.
Yep.
Good work. Got out of the over well.
7 overs down, none for 44. So run rate required is 8.5. Waddington is on 8. Oates on 34. Plenty of bowling option, the Raiders. When I look down their list here, I know Spencer Hayes can bowl. Sam Omani can bowl potentially. Beattie, Wood, Bennett, Anthony, Simpson, Chapman, Hayes.
Yeah.
Just about everyone can turn to the bowling crease.
Look, Omani's an interesting one. I think he's got a bit of an X factor and a happy knack of taking a wicket. He surprises batsmen occasionally, but he can, he can throw in a loose one as well. So
he may not be the 2020 type bowler.
Might be the reason that they're not going that way. But yes, there's also those spin options. James Simpson bowls a nice tidy off spin. Will Bennett bowls leg spin. So yeah, plenty of options.
Oliver Wood into Waddington. Slower ball. Waddington plays the colours. Beautiful fielding there by Miles Barnard. Might have saved a 4, in fact, because that was going to dissect 2 outfielders.
And I'm hoping he hasn't hurt his shoulder here. I think he has.
Yeah, he gets up holding the right shoulder.
He's hurt it, not injured it, if that makes sense.
Yep. So he's going to be he's running okay. So he's heading over to the offside.
Not running on his shoulder though, Dave.
No, and he's not a bowler, so it's not too crucial. The shoulder's injured.
You're hard, mate.
Oliver Wood into the impressive Oates. Slower ball, played in the covers, and Barnard has to dive again on that same shoulder, and he gets up gingerly a second time.
Wouldn't the batsman have hit it to the other side so he could even it up a bit?
Yep, and he's feeling a bit of discomfort there.
Dave,
No run though, he did save more runs.
Dave says get up and get on
Go up,
with it.
go again.
Yeah, that's it.
No, he might have saved that. I don't know about 4 that time, but he's probably saved 6 runs in those last couple of deliveries. Oliver Wood stutters in. Boy from Riverside. Bowls and nice deliveries. Beaten outside the off stump there is Keegan Oates as he went to drive. A little bit of nip off the wicket.
Boy from Riverside, but of course now with Westbury. Not that Westbury would have seen much of him because, at the same time that he made the club move, he started with the Raiders and has been with us, all the way through.
Plays his footy at Bridge North at the moment. There's Oliver Wood. And in he comes this time to Oates. Slower ball. Oates hits through the covers. They might think about 2 here. Hayes gets to it. Nice throw in on the bounce. They can just get the 1. So it's all over in the Mowbray versus South Launceston game. And South Launceston just made 7 for 117. With Harris 56 not out. But he just couldn't quite get the support to get through. So Mowbray went out by 13 runs.
They'd be pleased with that result, having their first win of the season just before Christmas. So well done them.
This time to Waddington is Ollie Wood. Waddington shapes the big cover drive, checks his shot, knocks it onto the offside for a single. So score up now to none for 47. 1 ball left in the 8th over, so it's hovering around that 6 and over mark. So I'll need to keep an eye on.
Stating the obvious here, but critical few overs coming up. We missed Oates there. We just have to take the next chance.
Wood now, this time to Oates. This one's short down the leg side and it's a wide, so another delivery there. None for 48. It's in the other game in the Midland Tractors T20 competition, and a win for your Launceston boys. Richard, 4 for 139, defeated Riverside, and they were 8 for 92 when the overs expired. So Launceston and Mowbray up and running there in the Midland Tractors T20 competition.
Well done, the Lions.
Back here at Utah Stadium, from the Invermay Park end, Ollie Wood into Keegan Oates, and he just plays it on the onside for a single. So none for 49 off 8. And that takes Oates up to 36, Waddington on 10. And run rate required 8.7. So 104 runs required off 12 overs. So nice tight over there from Ollie Wood. Now let's see, is it Cooper Anthony's once again?
Well, he thinks it is. He's got his
hat
got the
off.
cab off. Yeah.
Before the captain can change his mind. Good first over from Anthony. Just that 6 probably tarnished his figures a little bit.
Yeah, well, it wasn't a bowling error to have gone for that 6, and then he had the misfortune of a missed stumping, so it was really only a 1 ball he dragged down, so not a bad start.
Anthony's this time to Oates. He drags this one down a bit, plays it round the corner. He should get 2 here as it goes down a backwards square leg to Hayes. He's got a good arm as Spencer Hayes. Gee, look at that throw right over the stumps, back to Elliston Buckley. Very powerful.
Here comes Coach Coyle back to have a look from a different vantage point down in front of us. Might be a bit tight, the proceedings to invite him up into the commentary box at the moment,
so
Dave.
Go. It's Anthony's, bowls to Oates, and that's a good delivery because he just gets a single. He might be charging up this way,
He
so
might be.
the spare headset on him if he comes up. Anthony's once again. And played down the ground there by Oates. That's 2 dot balls. Anthony's jogs back to his mark, as you often do once you get the player tied down. None for 51. Next delivery.
Well fielded again. The man at 45, in off the circle, just as the batsman was looking to defend, so he was on the move. The batsman sees that out of the corner of his eye. And
the 3 dot balls. Does this build frustration for Keegan Oates? In he comes. Oh, he plays just down straight to the bowler. That's 4 dot balls. Outstanding over here from Cooper Anthys. So none for 51. Last ball of the 9th over. He tosses this one up and straight back to the bowler again. He shies back to the keeper, which was a bit dangerous.
I think the batsman saved us an overthrow there, I think.
What a great over there from Cooper Anthys. And 9 overs gone. None for 51. Chris, if you're back in the studio, we might take a quick break because we've got a special guest joining us straight after this over.
At City Park Radio, we can make your old audio or video come to life with the help of our digital mastering team. Your old vinyl or cassette can be transferred to CD or USB, and VHS tapes made into DVD, all for just a small cost. Come and see us with your vinyl, cassette tapes or VHS video at the Radio Museum in the City Park Cottage at the Cameron Street Gates. The doors open Monday to Friday 10 till 2, helping to preserve your memories. City Park Radio.
Welcome back here to UTAS Stadium. It's none for 51 off 9. Welcome to the Raiders coach, Timmy Coyle. G'day, Coyley.
Hi, Dave.
Must be happy with how things are situated at the moment. Maybe a couple of wickets is required.
Yeah, well, wickets are important, but that was a good over from the off spinner. So starting to put a little bit more scoreboard pressure on the chase. So far so good. A couple of wickets now would be really handy, particularly Oates. We need to get him out. And
it's Will Bennett coming to the attack, right arm leg spinner. And he's going to be bowling to Declan Waddington. First delivery, pitches it pretty well. Going back and cutting is Waddington. Behind point, chase around there for the fielder. And they'll get back for 2, none for 53. The batting effort, Tim, pretty good.
Yeah, it was. Really good start. Power play, I think, at 60. And then we just we got slowed up a little bit through the middle. But the spinners came in and had a big effect on ability to score, plus we lost a few wickets, but at the end of the day we thought 160 was par for us after that start, so we weren't far off that. So good effort, great innings by Miles Barnard, held the innings together for us. Cooper Anthys played nicely.
Bennett this time to Waddington, round the corner, hit him on the pad, hesitation, they scurry through probably for a leg by, wait there for the umpire, yes it was, none for 54. We're in the 10th over. So plenty of bowling options for you, Coyley. We were just talking about looking down the list.
Yeah, we have. We've nice balance of medium paces and spin. Our young spinners here, so obviously Will Bennett at the moment, Cooper Anthys, both under-19 cricketers. We've still got James Simpson to bowl leg spin as well. We saw a little bit of spin from Brodie Hayes. So, our 3 quicks, plus we've got Sam O'Mahony who bowls left arm pace with some good change up, so we'll see him at some stage as well.
Bennett this time to Oates, who drives straight back to Bennett. Slight misfield, tough one though. Shakes his arm a bit, gets it down for a single. So not a lot of boundaries so far, Coyley, which would be a pleasing thing from a coach's point of view.
It is pleasing. It's a big boundary out one side of the ground here today, so it was always going to be a lot of running to the eastern side of the ground, which I thought we did pretty well. But yeah, we've minimised the boundaries, which is really, really important.
Sweep there from Waddington, round the corner, sharp fielding there by Sam O'Mahony, no run. So nice tight over here from Bennett. So 10th over just about complete. As he knocks it on the offside there, does Waddington. Just gets the single, but fine. First over from Will Bennett. Just the 4 runs off it after 10 overs. It's none for 55. Got a question there for Coyley, Richard?
Oh, so many questions for Coyley. I'm trying to think of one other than the disappointment that Sam Elliston Buckley would have had missing that what seemed to be regulation stumping there a while ago.
Yeah, no, it was an easy stumping miss, but look, at the end of the day it happens. Yep. You've just got to forget about it, move on, don't you? So make sure he gets the next one if it comes.
Yep.
He just wasn't in a great position to gather the ball. I don't think he expected it to come to him. But look, at the end of the day, there's the fielding outside that's been very good, and we made a point of that at half time that their fielding was average. Missed a lot of balls. They bowled a lot of no balls and wide. So.
Yep.
Omani into the attack. And this one's up in the air. This could be a catch. Getting back to it, Ellison Buckley leaves it, and it's taken. Great catch there. That's Brody Hayes who's taken it behind square. And that was a tough situation with the two players. They had to sum up pretty quickly. He was going to go for it. Sometimes it's the man with the gloves. This occasion it was Brody Hayes.
Every day of the week it's the keepers. The keepers catch in my experience. But
I think I saw him call Brody Hayes in there for some reason. So, look, at the end of the day, that's a good wicket. He's an underrated bowler, Sam Omani. As we've seen with the bat this year, he's quite explosive, and with the ball, he's got the ability to bowl some heavy balls, but he's also got some great change-ups, but he just hasn't quite got the consistency yet. So that'll do him the world of good. A wicket there, give him some confidence, and hopefully he can bowl well here in this little spell that he'll have.
So Waddington caught by Hayes, Brody Hayes off the bowling of Omani for 13 off 24 balls. I suppose the key thing was they sorted out fairly early he was going to take it, didn't they?
Yeah. Sam Ellison Buckley said, "I'm not catching. I'm not interested."
Yep.
That's what happened, I think. That was a good catch too.
The experienced man Hayes, who has played a changed role in today's game, of course, having the first over. Doesn't bowl very often, but that worked. I think there were just 3 or 4 off that first over, Dave.
Yep.
Yeah,
I think first over.
Went for 3, I think, didn't it? Yep. He's done it before for us. He did it in another game. We think we can just get in and sneak 6 balls really quickly before the opposition realise. So that's good. He's actually he plays a different role in our T20 team now with the bat as well. We bat him in the middle, and he's a rotator rather than a striker. So if we need him to rotate the strike, that's what he does. So
that's a good result. Previously, he'd opted out of some of the T20 cricket. So
Omani to Oates, who cuts behind point, straight down to Hayes. For the single, and of course this brings young Tom McGann to the crease as one of Tassie's fine young cricketers.
Yeah, he's a good player. I've seen him before. He's dangerous. So we just need to continue to bowl well. We're sort of starting to get that run rate up now, get it up into the sort of 9s and 10s, and it becomes a different ball game. What we've seen from the bowling group and the discussions around bowling is change of pace is big on this wicket, so you'll probably see a fair bit of that now.
Omani into McGann for his first ball. He just plays it down behind point. Can't get a run.
I see McGann scored 100 in one of the under-18 games on Thursday.
Okay. So he's in good form.
It doesn't necessarily mean you start on anything other than 0 in the next game, though, Dave.
That's right. Yeah, so season so far, get back to that in a moment, as in comes Omani, this time to McGann, and he can't get a run again. Well, he gets through the field this time. That was Miles Barnard, who's had a bit of a hard time in the field. Land on that shoulder a couple of times, but only a single is the damage. So, Corey, you think it's an advantage today to play the 2 games separate, so have a bit of a spell, or would you like to keep on going?
That's a good question. No, we're happy to have the spell. I think it's going to be really good tonight to play here at that time.
Yeah.
Utilise the lights.
Omani, you're now to Oates. This one's on the stumps. Played down a third man. A lot of balls have gone through there. Probably a testament to the tight lines that the Raiders are bowling as Hayes does the fielding.
Yeah, so a lot of our young players wouldn't have experienced that before, so that was part of the request that we put in to try and play later, so that North Hobart and the Raiders can experience some cricket under lights, which, it'd be good. They won't come into effect till a bit later on such a beautiful day, but in saying that, it's still going to be good late in the evening.
Omani to McGann, who drives down to mid-on, can't get through the field, so we're dealing in singles at the moment. It's a fine first over there from Sam Omani. It's the 7th bowler used, 1 for 4. It's 1 for 60 off 11, and as you said, Corley, the run rate required is over 10 now. It's 10.4.
Yeah, and that's probably the goal as you get into these overs now. So a wicket, another over for 3 or 4 or 5, and all of a sudden a new batter comes in, takes some time, and all of a sudden you're at 12. So it gets going pretty quickly, this run rate, if you can keep it under control now. And
the season, Corley, overall, you'd be pretty happy with how the team are playing? Rough games early on, but certainly settled into a bit of a rhythm.
I think the aim is to make sure we're number one is we're competitive, and we've been competitive. There's no doubt about that. I would like to think we could have won, a couple of games that we lost.
As Bennett comes in, this time to McGann, who cuts straight to point, no run. He looks for a single.
And those games were really about maybe trying to find 10 or 15 more runs with the bat. That's what it was, and we could easily be we've won 3 of the 4 T20 games and be right in the chance to play in the final.
Bennett, this time again, goes down the ground. He might be 4 here. Chapman gets round. He can't quite stop it. And it deflects over the line. The first boundary for quite a while from the bats for Lindisfarne. So McGann gets himself 4 runs. Been unlucky there from Chapman.
Did the hard work, didn't he? And it just got away from him at the end.
It's quick outfield. It gets onto you quite quickly here, so you've got to be prepared early. And that's probably what we didn't see there. He just didn't get himself prepared early because the ball runs so fast.
Has hit through the onside now by McGann.
Our guys, Tim, have been off the boundary very quickly in comparison to Lindisfarne. So Lindisfarne seem to get themselves a bit lost in that extra space. So that's really encouraging.
Yeah, it's a big ground out here, as I said, to the eastern side. So we had to be aware of being at least 5, sometimes even 10 metres in.
Bennett to Oates, who tries to play it to third man and can't make contact. Well taken by Elston Buckley.
And the advantage for us is we get to play a little bit here, so we get to understand the ground a bit. And, that's the key to playing here at UTAS.
Bennett, Oates, caught and bowled out. Straight back to the bowler. Didn't quite get to the pitch of it. Beautifully bowled there by Bennett, and a sharp catch, and that's the second wicket for the Raiders. It's now 2 down for 65, and crucially for the Raiders, that's the big wicket of Keegan Oates.
Huge wicket, obviously set batter, and they would, a bit like our innings, I think, with Miles Barnard, weren't you, getting set and then being there at the end was the key there. But Freeman comes to the wicket, so good player as well. So, but a good wicket and well bowled. I thought he held that back a little bit, and I think might have been a little bit of spin. The ball before probably set that up when it spun away and put some doubt into the batter's mind. So that was excellent bowling from Will Bennett.
How much do you benefit, Corley, from having more of a set team this year? Like, you haven't made a lot of changes from game to game. Has that been good for the team cohesion?
It's been very good.
Yep.
It's been very good. It wasn't necessarily always the plan. You'd like to have some, stability in your team, but it's really dependent on the people who are committed to the program, and these are the guys that are. So we made a decision some weeks ago that, in a team discussion, that if people are committed to this program, then we're going to keep picking you, no matter what the format is. So it's meant that we've picked our young kids. And there's 4 of those in the team, probably 5 in the team, and we said, well, we're just going to keep playing you.
Bennett, it's just played out to the offside, so the new batsman coming in is Jared Freeman.
The caught and bowled would please you, Tim. I know you've always been very keen on helping bowlers capitalise on the chance of a return catch.
Yes, that goes back a while. I often thought that they didn't put enough time into that, Richard, practising the return catch. So
Coyley would stand there at the end of the net, whacking the ball back at the bowlers and their follow through.
Yes, that's right. And we play with an off spinner called Gary Goodman who practiced it religiously. He's caught and bowls. So there you go.
That's right. Wherever you're comfortable, he'd say.
That's right.
Sam O'Mahony going to bowl his second over. Bustles in, left arm over. Into McGann. Oh, he pulls it, just gets to the right-hand side there of the infield. It's going to go away for 4. So handy runs there for Lindisfarne. Is that Ollie Wood there? It was. Who dived to his right. It was in the air. But McGann, it's another boundary. So score goes up now to 2 for 69. McGann on 11 off 7. Run rate required near 11. So O'Mahony again. This time again, hits down to third man, thick edge through about third slip area, down to Brody Hayes. So McGann has decided perhaps to just try and push things along a little bit. Once that run rate, Corley gets up around 12, then it starts to get tough.
It does. I think I'd be looking to protect a boundary or 2 here. With only now we've got some fielders going out.
I think Ollie's heard you there, Corley. You haven't got a radio out there, have you, or something?
Sometimes I wish I did.
As 2 players get pushed back right on cue, as O'Mahony comes in now to Freeman, and Freeman pulls round the corner. Spencer Hayes on the boundary. Look at that rocket arm again. Very good. We've commented on that a couple of times. Spencer Hayes' arm.
Yeah, he's good.
Really?
Good fielder. He's a good catcher as well. Athletic. So yeah, he's a good player. Again, one of our under-19 players.
Yep.
Learning a lot about his cricket playing at this level. So
2 for 71. 3 balls remaining in the 13th over. Omani this time to McGann. It's a full toss. No damage done as it just played out to Hayes once again at deep square leg. Just the one run.
Omani's got a few different slower balls.
He has. He's got 2 or 3 of them. He's got a good one out of the back of the hand, a bit like James Faulkner's out of the back of the hand slower ball. When he executes that well, it's hard to score off. So this will be good for his confidence. And I
think he played a game midweek too against Latrobe, Sam Omani for Devonport.
Oh yes.
As just lays back on this one does Freeman. And a third man to Hayes, so another single.
So the reason that these slower balls are so effective, it's about deception. The batsman, it really, can be through the shot.
That's right, exactly right. So the key to it is to maintain the same arm speed. So the batter sees a similar cue to what they'd normally see, but then the ball rolls out, the back of the hand, side of the hand. Commit to a shot, be through it early.
Omani. Left arm over from the town end. McGann hits down the ground. He makes good contact. Won't beat the fielder down there. They think about 2. They're going to go. Chance in the arm is Freeman, but good decision in the end. That's 2 more runs. 2 for 75 off 13 overs. There's Freeman now on 4 and on 2. McGann on 15. So 75 off 13. That's 7 overs remaining. 78 to get. 11.3. How you feeling, Corey?
Yeah, good. We're in a good spot here. Again, it's about maybe taking another wicket in the next 2 overs. This will be a big over from the captain. What we saw in their innings was spin was really effective. So sometimes it takes a little bit of courage from the captain to say, no, I'm going to keep going with Will Bennett, or I'm going to bring James Simpson in for an over, or Brody Hayes, who bowled that first over. Maybe he's worth a chance because you take the pace out of the game a little bit.
We're very impressed, Corey, with young James Burke from Lindisfarne.
Very good.
Leggy looks like he's got some ability there.
Yeah, so anyway, we'll know in 6 balls' time.
Oliver Wood into Jared Freeman. Slower ball, hits down the ground in the air, won't get as far as Chapman. Gets it on the bounce, fields well. Just the single.
Yeah, so every chance we'll see 6 lower balls here. Into the wicket type bowling.
So a bit of a gap at mid-wicket. So we've got a deep square leg. Mid-on, mid-off, deep point, also a deep third man. So over cover or mid-wicket could be the areas that McGann looks for here as Wood bowls. That one short, down towards mid-on. Might be a catch here to Hayes. Just bounces in front of him. Living dangerously there, Tom McGann. It's away with it, and it's a single.
Once again, every time you see the slower ball, the contact's not quite there.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a key on this. We're going to be a key later tonight. Another game on it. They had 2 games on it on Thursday, so by tonight it'll tire a little bit more. So that off-pace bowling is going to be very difficult to score off.
Captain of the Raiders, Ollie Wood, into Jared Freeman, drives straight to point. That's a very valuable dot ball. Now Omani would have got a lot of confidence, Corey, from those big knocks recently.
Played well
in the shorter version of the game.
Played well. Sandy Bay innings was exceptional, as good as you'll see. Just found the boundary a lot, small ground, but I think 9 6s and 9 4s. Just a clean striker of the ball. But he's backed it up with a 50 and a 30 as well, and just growing as a player. Every time he suits up, he seems to be getting better, which is good.
Wood to Jared Freeman, and through the offside. That's another low-scoring delivery because they need probably about 2 a ball now, and it's just a single. So into the 14th over, it's 2 for 78. Freeman on 4, McGann on 16. Run rate now is the even dozen. Run rate required, that is. So Tom McGann, pretty impressive so far. A couple of boundaries. This one's short. He plays through mid-wicket. But the sweeper out there is Bennett. They look hard for two. Indecision. McGann thinks about going. Smart fielding from Bennett. Put the pressure on. And they just get the one. Applause from the crowd. So far so good in this Hollywood over. Into his third over, just none for 16. Wicket takers so far, Bennett and Omani. 7 bowlers used. And he comes. Last ball, the 14th over. He gets across the line, but they might get a couple here as it goes behind square. So, slow ball on that occasion yields 2 runs to Freeman. 14 overs gone, 2 for 81. How important, Corley, was it having those players, Braden Steppy and Evan Golbus, Tim David, play in those early games before Christmas?
Yeah, very valuable. The two Victorian players were excellent around the group. They obviously performed well as well.
Unforgettable partnership.
Yeah, it was great. That and what the young players can learn from watching that. Some batting out there as well with them. It's you can't underestimate that. So it's probably what we need in this team is that sort of that classy player. Someone like Evan Galbus obviously would be just be brilliant for us with the bat and the ball, but also his leadership and knowledge of the game. That's probably the thing that we've got to look at. We've got to try and find a way of getting those sorts of players into the program if we can, and that complements the guys that are really committed. Barnard, Wood, Chapman, Beattie, who've been around a little while, and then all our kids. So then you've got something really strong to work with. Tim David was outstanding. He was really good. He embraced the team really well and performed. Again, a good example of what we...
Beattie into the attack to McGann, who backs away. Well bowled by Beattie. Cramps in for room down to mid-off. One thing, just another side, I'm surprised the Hurricanes haven't bowled Tim David in games. I thought he bowled pretty well.
Yeah, he's got some skill with the ball, but I guess they've probably got a lot of bowling options, and they've got a lot of bowling options as well. So.
Beattie round the wicket. Interesting attack here to McGann. Tights him up for room again. He tries to flat through the offside, straight through the keeper. Bowling round the wicket tactic here, Coyley. Is that to just restrict the room?
Yeah, I think you see a bit of that now from the left armers come around and try and to tighten the batter up. Probably feel you can bowl to his field a little bit better there.
It's still a relatively new thing. Like 10 years ago, you'd rarely see it, would you?
Tom McGann does the lap sweep. He does it beautifully. Went away to the offside. Lap shot down to fine leg for 4. Hits the marker there on the boundary. But that's a pretty important boundary there for Tom McGann.
There's another thing you wouldn't have seen very often 10 years ago.
No, premeditated. But executed it well.
Yeah, gee, how about that? Seemed to get that right in the middle of the blade. It flew away.
13 and over required. They just need to manufacture something here. A great bowling effort so far from the Raiders. So no fine leg at the moment, so he might be tempted to have another go at that. Let's see what Beattie does this time. This time it's short, hit down towards mid-wicket. Might pick the gap there between two fields, but it does. Wasn't much of a gap.
Gee.
But it was there, and McGann, 2 consecutive boundaries there.
Those fielders, Dave, are surely only 25 metres apart, and he hit that flat. It went one bounce over the fence, and neither fielder was any chance.
Tom McGann, 25 now, 2 for 89. Beattie into McGann, spun short. It's bowled in. Went for the same shot. Hit the top of off, as all coaches like. And he's gone, is McGann, after an enterprising knock. But the situation of the game meant that he had to really go for it, and he's out for 25, and it's 3 for 89.
Scoreboard pressure.
Yep.
Again, need to hit boundaries, so if you can bowl at the stumps, you're going to be a chance. So it's a fairly simple game, really.
While we've got a wicket down, we might take a short break here on City Park Radio. We'll be back in a moment as the batsmen take their crease.
Extra, read all about it.
Do you enjoy listening to readings from the Examiner? Do you love reading aloud?
Would you like to join our team of readers? If so, we'd love to hear from you. City Park Radio needs people to join our reading team so we can continue to present this great program to our listeners. All we require is an hour of your time and we'll provide the training. Call us now on 6334 3344 and you could be our next reader on Readings from the Examiner on City Park Radio.
First ball to Alec Marr is a full toss and it's hit through the onside. So on Alec Marr, it's, I keep saying that, I used to know Alec Marr. It's Anthony Marr, and he just gets a single, gets off the mark. So it's now 3-4-90 of 15 overs. So the run rate's just the 6 and over, but the run rate required is now 13 and over. And interesting over there from Beattie, Corley.
Yeah, it was. The wicket was handy, and probably a little bit unlucky. That was a good shot, the 4, and then the ramp shot. Well, it can go either way.
Yep.
You go straight up in the air, you can get through him and bowl him. So that's just T20 cricket. So, but the wicket, new batter at the crease, that hopefully slows them down a little bit. Good over here from again the captain, Ollie Wood. If we get a good over here, then it's really putting the pressure on. That run rate will go through to 15 and over, and that's hard to score.
Okay, so Ollie Wood buying consecutive overs, and he comes. And Marr gets a Yorker, in fact. Just jams down. That was another slower ball.
That was spinner slow, Dave.
Yep.
That one,
Yep.
and you could see the batsman. He'd played his shot 3 times before he eventually. All he could do was jam it out. So that was really well disguised and delivered.
Marr just did a bit of a glance out towards mid-wicket there. Let's see what he does to this ball. Wood this time. And he hits it down towards that area. He might look for 2 here. Hayes approaches the ball quickly. Fields well. Beautiful throw back in. Hits the stumps, in fact. Ricochets. No chance for an extra. Just the 1 run. So Ollie Wood is captain. Corley, you've done some work with him on tactics, etc.?
Yeah, look, we get to talk a little bit more about, just how to set the team up and, what our batting might look like, our line-up, and then where we bowl people, and we talk about those things. Once he's out in the field, it's his team, and he's done that very well this year, I must admit.
So Wood, second ball of the over. This time Freeman goes aerial, up here towards Hayes, who's getting under it, makes good position, and takes the catch. So Jared Freeman's out. He went for the big shot, tried to get it over mid-on, tried to clear the field. Well bowled Ollie Wood, and a comfortable catch there to Brody Hayes. They have to be taken, of course, and he did it pretty well.
Yeah, another good example. Slow ball into the wicket, no pace on it, so very hard to make clean contact. Well caught again. This has been a good little spell from Ollie Wood. Some of his bowling this year, particularly towards the end of the innings, he's probably bowled his 1 day, nearly 2 day bowling a little bit too much. And it's a bit hittable. Today's discussion was around as many slower balls, change of pace balls into the wicket balls as possible.
Yep.
And he's executed it really well.
4 for 91.
That's good courage from Ollie, from the captain. Usually the captain's a batter, of course, but as a bowler, this is an extra challenge for him.
1 for 19, Wood. As Marr is on strike as the batsman crossed, he hits it straight to cover.
Yeah, spot on, Richard, because you either put your hand up or you throw the ball to someone else, don't you, and say get the job done. But he's been throughout this season, he's really put his hand up. He's put his hand up to open the batting. He's put his hand up to bowl at the death. He's put his hand up to open the bowling when we haven't had James Beattie here. And so from that point of view, you can't fault his performance.
Yep. Chapman is the new batsman for Lindisfarne at the non-strikers end, as Wood in this time to Marr. Marr hits down towards mid-on. Another chance here for Hayes. It's on the bounce this time. In fact, it's well short of him. They think about going back for 2. Could be a run out. Great throw from Hayes. It's a run out. He's gone. And unfortunately for young Chapman, I believe that is the old diamond duck, because I don't think he faced the ball. Rushed back for the second.
Look,
and a great throw there from Hayes.
We commented earlier about the Raiders have had much greater intensity in the field, and that was excellent poise then from Hayes to be able to attack the ball, but then to see to throw it to the far end, the danger end. Surprisingly, the danger end when there was a mix-up like that was fantastic, and the throw was within arm's reach for the keeper. All he had to do was take it at shoulder height and have the bails off. It was excellent fielding, first rate.
Interesting that a month ago Brody Hayes couldn't throw. We had a real issue in the field with him. We weren't sure that he could play T20 cricket because he couldn't throw. But
due to injury, or
yeah, he's got an injured shoulder. But we found a way for him to throw, and it's more underarm, sidearm, underarm throw, which you would have seen then in that throwback to the. And he's amazing at it. He's actually very natural. So he can throw from. That's a fairly decent throw, lengthwise.
New batsman is Jack Freeman, number 11. As Wood bowls to him, plays down the ground. And Brody Hayes is there. Can't keep out of the game at the moment, but fielding in front of him there was James Beattie. So Venful over comes to an end, and 16 overs gone, and it's 5 for 92, 15 over required. So this is where the boys have just got to just execute things calmly.
Yeah, it'd be hard to lose the game from here.
Two relatively new batters, got both of those dangerous batsmen out in the last 2 or 3 overs. So,
did you ever get a diamond duck, Richard?
Don't think I've got some golden ones, but I don't think I've graduated to diamond.
For old Daniel Chapman, so he didn't face the ball there.
Well, at least you can blame someone else.
That's
if you
right.
Get a diamond duck, surely.
Yeah, plenty of those in T20 cricket.
that may be why I didn't get the diamond.
That's
ducks.
right.
As on strike now is Jack Freeman. So Marnie bowls. He swings to the onside, or tries to. Might have got the toe of the bat nearly there as he goes straight back to the bowler for a dot ball.
Dave, what can you tell us about whether this potential win keeps us in the frame for a finals?
Yeah, while you were chatting before, I did have a bit of a look at the South Hobart Sandy Bay score, because they need to lose one of their 2 games, and they have won their first one. So that's not a great result, but we'll go through it in a second. It's a it's an inside edge here from Jack Freeman to short third man to Chapman for a single.
Well, it's looking increasingly like we're holding up our end of the bargain.
So probably need Lindisfarne now to go and beat North Hobart next. That would take them to 7 points. But yeah, I think
North Hobart have brought up a fairly strong side. I think.
Yeah. So anyway, it'd be great to go into tonight's game with that still on the cards. We'll wait and see. As in comes O'Mahony, bowls this time. It's hoiked to the onside by Marr. It's going to land in front of Hayes. They'll think of 2 here. They should make it comfortably. Great arm once again from Spencer Hayes, but it's a well-judged 2 there from Anthony Marr. 2 runs. 5 for 96. Marr up to 5. Jack Freeman on 2. So Oates has been the standout so far with 41. McGann got 25. Useful contribution is in comes O'Mahony once again to Marr. This one's a fuller ball. You can just play it down to deep mid on for a single. Down there to Anthys. So you must still be pleased, Corey. I know I've said it before, but the lack of boundaries that have been hit today. So it's all been ones and dots.
Yeah, it's been a good bowling effort. Not too many wide balls or loose balls, so they've had to take some higher risk, and that's created some wicket opportunities. So
O'Mahony to Jack Freeman. This one's short. Whistles past his ear. Legal delivery. Through the keeper, Elliston Buckley. Dot ball. Bent the back a bit on that one.
Yeah, he's got some good pace when he gets it right. As I said before, he's also got all the change-ups. He's bowled a couple of balls out the back of his hand this over, but that have been very effective.
O'Mahony left arm over. This one's short. It's pulled towards square leg. The field set well once again. It goes straight to Spencer Hayes for just the 1. End of that over from O'Mahony. And looking at his figures, he's bowled 3 overs now, 1 for 19. Other wicket takers, Bennett 1 for 9, Wood 1 for 21, and Beattie 1 for 21.
So, Tim, a little while ago you explained how Brody Hayes' throwing with a sore shoulder had been amended. Now, alongside him there is James Beattie. Now, he's got a sore elbow, so how do we switch his throwing?
Yeah, he's been okay this year. elbow's not
as bad
as it was last year. So he's managed that, and he's got a pretty good understanding of what he can do with it. So
right.
But he's worked hard on throwing without pain. So trying to work out where he can throw and how he can throw without having pain. And Brodie's done exactly the same thing. He can throw the way he's throwing now without any pain at all. As soon as he throws conventionally, if you like, it hurts. So he's got an issue there, but he's actually found a way, and he's been very good.
Jono Chapman for his third over in from the Invermay Park end. This is hit down the ground towards Hayes, who's making good ground of the ball and takes it, Brodie Hayes. And another good catch. And Jono Chapman takes the wicket with his first ball. And out is Jack Freeman for 3. Wickets tumbling now here at UTAS Stadium as Lindisfarne now collapsed to 6 for 98 in the first ball of the 18th over.
Gee, he's been rock solid down here, hasn't he?
Yes,
hasn't he played a role?
He's had a lot of work to do.
Yeah. Again, another slower ball from Chapman, who's the leading wicket taker in the competition at the moment. So that's a real feather in his cap, or he was before the start of the fixtures today. So it's another wicket in the column for him.
Yep, first ball of his third over, bowled pretty tightly early on. So 1 for 14. So wickets are shared around here at the moment. We've got 5 wicket takers and a run out. So it's a team effort in anyone's book. So batsman cross there. So Ma back on strike. Your batsman is Grubb. Ma tries to hit it through the onside. Goes straight through to Elliston Buckley. So we don't look too far ahead, Corley, but North Hobart, it'll be a stern opposition. I think they've got players like Pycroft. Is Jewel playing, do we know?
Jewel's playing,
so there'll be 2 that...
Corey Mercer.
Yep.
Strong side.
Yep, so it'll be a good challenge for the young Raiders team. Chapman, this time to Ma, who hits it straight to the covers. To Anthys, they go for a single. Anthys doesn't panic. Decides to hold the ball and let the single happen. So 1 more run to the score.
So 6:30 tonight for our second game. Free entry to Premier League games.
Get down and have a look. Of course, we'll be on the radio and on the live stream, but get down and have a look. It's going to be a beautiful evening here at UTAS Stadium. As this time, it's Grubb. It's a grubber, that one, the ball was. As gets through Elliston Buckley. Keeps very low. It'll be a bye, I'd say. Wait for the umpire. No, under edge. So that's why it kept low, I think. It's probably just an under edge. That's 100 up for Lindisfarne. The Lightning are 6 for 100. Just a couple of balls remaining in this over, in the 18th over. This one's hit down the ground. Hayes once again. It might clear him this time. It does. And you can hear it land just in front of us here in the Carlton draft stand. So lovely hit that time from Anthony Marr. Moves himself up to 13. So 47 to win. With 13 balls remaining. It'll take a few more of those hits to approach the total, however.
We don't need to Oh, yes. Look, I was about to say we don't need to disinfect the ball. We're not disinfecting it, but the umpire does check it when it comes back into the arena. I'm not exactly sure what he's checking it for.
Well, probably because a big chunk probably came out on the asphalt there. As Chapman bowls again to Ma, he hits down the ground, doesn't get full purchase. It'll bounce in front of Hayes. A couple of bounces, picks it up. So good comeback there from Jono Chapman. And that brings to an end the 18th over.
No ball.
Oh, no ball. I didn't pick that one up. So that'll be a free hit. And the only consolation for the Raiders there is that the new batter's on strike. That's Grubb. Just faced the 1 ball. So Chapman this time to Grubb, who plays and misses. So no damage done there. Through to the keeper, Elliston Buckley. That's over. 18 overs down, 6 for 108. So 45 to win. Just 2 overs remaining. Who's going to bowl him, do you think, Corey?
I think Beattie will bowl. Yep, I'd say Beattie might bowl.
Beattie and Chapman?
Yeah, I think so.
Yep. So after this weekend, Corey, what have you got next week? We're back to what format of the game?
1 day cricket.
1 day cricket?
Yeah, Glenorchy, KG5.
KG5? Your favourite grounds, Richard? You played at KG5? You played at probably all the southern grounds over the years. Both of you probably have.
Yeah, we did.
Got a favourite southern ground?
Oh, I used to like playing at the old I started playing at the old TCA ground.
Yeah.
But of course, it didn't have the facility that Bellerive has, of course. And the southern grounds were not the fantastic surfaces that they are now.
Yep.
And
here comes Beattie round the wicket. And nice shot there from Ma. That might dissect the fielders. It's away for 4, so just need to keep their focus here, the Raiders. It's a big task required, but they want to finish positively. 6 for 112. So 41 required off the 11 balls remaining. So nice little knock here from Anthony Ma. Beattie again. This time Ma hits through the covers, and that might get away as well. There's no coverage out there on the boundary. That's back-to-back boundaries for Anthony Ma. He moves up to 22 off just 13 deliveries. And the target's 37 now as the score goes to 6 for 116. So probably wasn't the delivery there for the field that was set. It was a ball that could have been driven through the covers. Third ball the over. Beattie this time to Ma, who mistimes this. The little settling delivery there for the Raiders as it just falls on the onside. Ellison Buckley collects. No run.
Been an excellent bowling and fielding performance.
Absolutely.
Really has.
It sets up for a big game against the North Hobart Demons later on. But we'll get this one over and done with first as he's Beattie now and Ma hooks. Ooh. This might go away for another boundary. It's behind square this one. Hayes won't get round. So that's 13 off 4 deliveries. 6 for 120. And 33 required. Ma 26 off 15. He's lost a little bit of his direction this over, Coyley.
Yeah, he has. Again, probably the slower ball hasn't been seen as much.
Yep. Beattie round the wicket. This time's in the block hole. That's well bowled. Digs it out, but can only get a single.
And the Yorker.
Yep. There it was. 6 for 121.
How important is that little innings of Cooper Antis looking now, Dave?
Yeah, huge.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, Miles needed a partner.
Yep.
And without that, he would have been tempted to go large himself.
Grub on strike. Nice little cover drive there, but it'll only get a single as Bennett comes off the boundary. They might think about 2. They're going to go for it. Throw comes in, and it's good running in the end. So 2 runs there to Grub. 6 for 123 with 1 over remaining. So the equation, 30 required. Not impossible, but highly unlikely.
Well, you'd think unless Jono gets on a wide or no ball...
Frenzy?
Yeah, we don't want frenzies, Dave.
So Jono Chapman in good hands here, I think, in the last over. His figures so far are 3 overs, 1 for 24. So on strike, it's Anthony Ma. On strikers end, Jackson Grubb. Here's Chapman now to Ma. Oh. Tries hit down the ground, hits across the line, nearly bowls him off stump. That was a full toss, I think, boys, wasn't it?
But, went through it about half stump height. Yep. Yes,
probably not a bad delivery at this stage because it's hard to get under that. That was a dot ball. That's all that matters. So 5 sixes now required. 30 off 5 balls. Chapman into Ma. That's not going to be one of them. He gets it on the onside, and Bennett will field comfortably, and they just jog through for a single. So 29 required now with just 4 balls remaining. What will you guys do between games, Corley? Do you have a bit of a look at the next one? Just relax.
Park Hotel.
Park Hotel.
Can't see wit.
Lemon squashes, of course. As Chapman comes in, this time to Grubb. Hits it straight to mid-wicket. Oh, there could be a run out here. Should be a simple one, and it is. Grubb's run out. Nice fielding there from Beattie. Picked it up cleanly, got it back to Chapman. And look, that's just such an efficient run out, Coyley. They're the ones you practice at training, I know. But they've got to be executed, and it just looked so smooth.
Yeah,
clean fielding, clean throw.
Yep. Our fielding was probably the last part of our game to come together, to be honest. We didn't have a lot of time to work on fielding, but they do place an emphasis on it on game day. And obviously they work during the week with their clubs and train when we train. So, but some good athletes. I think that makes a difference when you've got some good athletes in your team.
So that's 6 for 124. In fact, 7 for 124. Beg your pardon. As in comes Chapman. Bowls to Marr, hits it straight up in the air. Elliston Buckley shields his eyes from the sun. Oh, he misses it. Yeah, he's going to come back for 2. But you could just tell that he was losing that in the sun, and they had to shift position at the last moment. Couldn't get under it. A missed chance there for the Raiders.
Tough sky today. No clouds with a white ball. It's a horrendous catch to be standing underneath.
2 runs there to Anthony Marr.
Spoken like a wicketkeeper.
That's right.
30 off 19 for Marr as he faces this one. He just chips it to the offside. Could be caught, and it is. Nice catch there. Taken by Miles Barnard, moving off to his left. And good rearguard action there from Anthony Marr comes to an end.
Barnard went to line up there as if he was going to pop it through from half forward.
Not bad from a soccer player.
Yeah, that's it. He's multi-talented, is Miles Barnard, Devonport Strikers champion.
He is.
So Marr out for 30 off 19 deliveries. It's 7 for 126. 8 for 126, in fact. The scoreboard's a little bit behind here with all these wickets falling. There it is. Changes over now. Okay. Corey, thanks for joining us here on City Park Radio. All the best tonight's game. It's been really great to have your insights, and well done with the Raiders this year.
I might pop up later on.
No worries. Thanks, mate. So that's Timmy Coyle here on City Park Radio. As we've got the 1 ball remaining. 8 for 126. On strike is Al Holmes, coming to the crease for the last ball. Let's see what he can do. He does a big swing and he misses, and that's victory for the Greater Northern Raiders. That's their 3rd victory from 5 games in the T20 competition and leaves them in the hunt. A slight chance of making the final. They've done the job today. Solid effort with the bat and excellent effort with the ball. 8 for 126 after 20 overs. Richie Bennett, your first thoughts?
An extraordinary bowling and fielding effort. The difference between the Lindisfarne and the Raiders' fielding effort was noticeable. It's surprising because, in my experience, the southern-based Premier League teams all field well. They seem to get a little bit lost on the bigger UTAS Stadium, but not so the Raiders. They were very aware of where they were in the field, and the bowling effort was excellent. Very few wides. They were bowling always with a plan, and it all came together, exceptionally well. When we needed a wicket, there was one there. There was the caught and bowled of Will Bennett to get Oates.
That's pretty crucial.
That was crucial at a crucial time. Just a really solid performance, and to have Coach Coyle with us there for the last few overs, he was clearly pleased with what his charges were showing us.
You see the North Hobart boys out there now, just doing a bit of a warm up, and it's the first thing that strikes me is they're an older looking team. So they're going to be another big challenge later on, aren't they?
It'll be upper level this evening, but a terrific opportunity for our guys to go and test themselves against some players who've had first-class experience and some up-and-comers as well. Something to look forward to.
Let's have a look at we'll go through the Lindisfarne scorecard in detail, but just to go through the Greater Northern innings briefly, just the main highlights there. Barnard scored 80 off 68 deliveries, fine effort, 7 fours and 1 6. and Cooper Anthony's 23 off 18 with 2 boundaries. And those two, the score went to 4 for 89, and they put on 58 crucial runs there in that 5th wicket partnership. The bowling for Lindisfarne, 2 for 33 from Freeman. Jack Freeman, that is. It was, 1 for 33 from Jack Freeman, 1 for 31 from Anthony Marr, 1 for 13 young Burke. Jared Freeman, 1 for 32, and Alomes, 1 for 21. The innings for Lindisfarne, Keegan Oates was caught and bowled Bennett for 41. Waddington was caught Hayes, bowled O'Mahony for 13. McGann was bowled by Beattie for 25. Jared Freeman caught Hayes, bowled Wood for 6. Anthony Marr caught Barnard, bowled Chapman for 30. Daniel Chapman was run out without scoring, without facing a ball, in fact. Jack Freeman caught Hayes, bowled Chapman 3. Grubb run out for 3. And Alomes was not out. Looking through that scorecard there, Richard, let me see, 1, 2, 3 catches for Brodie Hayes. That was a big day for him.
Wasn't it
and a run out.
Wasn't it interesting to hear what Tim was saying to us about the way that worked with his throwing action? And as he was explaining that to us, the balls kept coming his way. So excellent catches, safe catches, but then an excellent run out. We threw the ball to the far end from not that far inside the boundary, and ran out the batsman after a misunderstanding. So interesting for Brodie Hayes. He's a conservative or cautious opening batsman, but the role he played in today's game was to bowl the first over and contribute in the field as he did. So well done him.
Bowling for the Raiders, Hayes 1 over none for 2, which is a pretty handy over front up in the game. Jonathan Chapman 4 overs 2 for 27. Beattie 4 overs 1 for 36. Ollie Wood 4 overs 1 for 21. Cooper Anthony's 2 overs none for 11. Will Bennett 2 overs 1 for 9, and O'Mahony 3 overs 1 for 19. So 7 bowlers used, and as we mentioned, that's a pretty big advantage. There's lots of different bowling options there. So someone's having an off day, you've got somebody else to go to.
Oh look, I think they all bowled well. Tim was talking to us about how Oliver Wood had been expensive at times in some of the earlier games, but went in with a plan today to bowl those off-pace deliveries, and you could see that at the crucial time that they were very effective. But all of the bowlers bowled a good line, and so Wood would have had no concerns with going to any one of those for a third or fourth over. John Chapman just rock solid again, and a leading wicket taker in the competition. But yes, I say all of them really knew their plans and executed well.
Well, Richard, we'll have a spell. We'll come back for the 6:30 game later on City Park Radio, and also via the live stream on YouTube. It's been a pleasure to bring it to you this morning. A great win by the Raiders, as we've mentioned a few times. They scored 5 for 153, and Lindisfarne were 8 for 126 off their 20 overs. So from Richard Bennett and myself, Richard, we'll see you again at 6:30.
Look forward to it.
No worries. On City Park Radio and the YouTube live stream, we'll sign off here from UTAS Stadium. Victory to the Greater Northern Raiders by 27 runs.
Local and live, and in our community, City Park Radio, 103.7 and 96.5 FM.
And now thanks to Richard and Dave Moore for their commentary of that first game.
Second game is popping back in.
Okay, so does that mean that
Yes, now it's reverted.
And there would be audio there now?
Yeah, if anyone's watching. What's it going?
So just backward of square, out towards the railway wig.
Sounds really clear. Fantastic shot there from Cooper Anthony's. Yep. Sounds good.
Well done, mate. Fantastic.
Go home, walk the dog, watch your cricket.
Yeah, me too. Is it still 4 down in the test?
What? Oh, don't worry. That's all right. I'll watch it too. What the test was leaving on? I've got a bad feeling up at England.
Yep. Still movement is what we're going to do. And it'll be tough for us to win this.
That's right. Yeah,
4.93.
They need one up there. Slow going still?
Yeah. Alright.
Now, anything that you reckon we might need for the second one?
No, I think that's all.
Can I bring you some to leave?
No, I have something.
That's all we can. So, that's
good quality there.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, no, really good. Really good for you, for the service you provide too, to have a bit of credibility, mate. So, 6:30?
You're probably going to hear again, 5 minutes before us to check the scene.
Yeah. No, thanks, mate. That's fantastic. I might just go and see the boys for a second and then...
Yeah, that's a really good win. I mean, that's 3 out of 5 now, 2 20 competition.